Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
To the 10-yard line. Touchdown, Vegas. What a wild finish.
Your home for the NFL.
In the NFL, with the devastating floods in the Texas Hill Country over the weekend, both the Cowboys and Texans have each donated $500,000 to relief efforts. Speaking of the Cowboys, in our news, All-Pro kick returner Kavonte Turpin was arrested over the weekend and charged with marijuana possession less than 2 ounces and unlawful carrying of a weapon. In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs will finish up California Summer League play tomorrow night at 9 against the Los Angeles Lakers. They went 1-1 over the weekend, finishing things up with a 90-88 win over the Warriors last night. San Antonio also made it official today with the signing of former Celtics big man Luke Cornet, who agreed to a 4-year, $41 million deal at the beginning of free agency. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Monday afternoon, after a long holiday weekend that wasn't the celebration we all thought it was going to be when we got off work on Thursday afternoon. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagel, he's off today. I'm Jason Minix, James Pledger producing, and, you know, I've done this for a long time, and it sucks when you come in and you do a show talking sports after experiencing something similar to what we experienced over the weekend. Just devastating floods. And again, this show, we're sports. We're a distraction from the reality. And that's what we're going to do here today is come in and go. I got a message over the weekend. Glad you guys were off Friday. I don't know if I could have listened to sports. You know, sometimes you just need to find that diversion. And that's what we do. That's what we do on this show every day, whether it's your regular life, you're at work, you're driving home from work, whatever BS you've got going on. And in this case, just the unimaginable tragedy that so many are going through in our neighborhood. And what's, you know, when it hits this close to home, you see floods, you see fires somewhere else in the country, and you know just how bad it is, but you don't know anybody. And in this case, kind of feels like you know somebody, or you know somebody that knows somebody, and that's the hard part. And then just as a parent, as a girl dad for me, you know, when Erica was little, she used to go to camp, not up in Kerrville, but T-Bar M in New Braunfels, same kind of thing. I just can't imagine what those families are going through. And while the search efforts continue, all the firefighters and EMS personnel and those that are doing that labor, you know, I mean, just continued strength as they go through it. On our news talk station, our sister station, KTSA, on their website, ktsa.com, there is a link where you can donate money. There's also a list of things for items that need to be donated. I did see, and, you know, so many people have just showed up wanting to help. There has to be a lot more organization that goes through that. All that information is on a link over at ktsa.com if you want to jump in and help, whether it's financial, whether it's you've got items that you want to donate. I know for those guys that are doing search and rescue work right now, they need socks. You know, stuff that you don't normally think about, but you understand why when you say it or when you read it. It's just one of those things, just such a tragic, freaky weekend. And admittedly, I went off to Denver Friday, and I had no idea it was this bad. And, you know, when you're out of town, at least for me, you try to stay off social media, but then you look on and you're like, holy cow. And then it's tough, especially when you start thinking about all the kids in the camps. And again, as a parent, you think about summer camp, whether you went as a kid or you've taken your kids. It's such a fun time in life. As a parent, you drop your kids off at camp and you got like a week off. as a kid, you're at camp. And for something like this to happen, it's just tragic. But like I said, we understand. Thoughts are with them. But here we're the distraction. We are, we're in the toy department. So, and I don't know about you, but, I got home yesterday afternoon, watched a bunch of news, was watching the news this morning. I needed to turn it off too. I watched more tennis this morning than I thought I would, just because I couldn't handle watching any more of the news. And so, for the next 4 hours here, we will acknowledge and, again, remind people, KTSA.com, all the information that you need for all the official donation places. Because that's one thing that, you see all these different things. These are the official ones that authorities have said, these are the ones you need to donate to. That's available at KTSA.com, and I'll certainly remind you of that throughout the afternoon. But in the meantime, we're talking sports. We certainly have an eye and an ear on what's going on. We're aware of what's going on, but this is the distraction for the next several hours. We're talking about stuff that seems less important, although we also understand the importance of sports, because in reality, isn't that what sports is? Isn't that why you love your team? You love talking about it because it distracts you from everyday life, whether it's a tragedy like what we're dealing with here in the Hill Country, or, your work stuff, family stuff, whatever. You want to argue, but it's kind of fun. Let's talk Dak Prescott. You want to argue, but it's fun. Astros crushed the Dodgers over the weekend, and they're still talking about banging trash cans. I mean, at some point, they got to let it go, right? Is anybody still left? What is it? Jose Altuve and Lance McCullers left from that team?
Here we go.
What Dodgers are still left from that team? Yet Oral Hershiser in the broadcast when the Astros are scoring 18 runs, looking for a trash can. I love it. I love it. Big 12 Media Days are tomorrow. We'll talk a lot of college football today as well. It's official, Cowboys offseason. It's Kavonte Turpin getting arrested. We'll give you those kind of details coming up. The Turpin story is just, I don't know. I mean, from the Cowboys offseason standards, this seems really minor. But then you think about it's Kavonte Turpin and his history at TCU, and you just wonder, was it just a matter of time? I mean, he's been good as an NFL guy, but was it just a matter of time? I did not realize this until he got arrested. TCU doesn't apparently even claim him as a former player in the pros. You know how every college celebrates all their pro athletes? TCU wants nothing to do with this guy. Nothing. And then you think, all right, he got arrested, had a gun, had some weed. Was going 97 in a 70. Cowboys will handle it internally. What does that mean? Don't do that again. And again, the amount of weed that he had, the gun, I assume he doesn't have a license for it. But then you go back and you think about Kavonte Turpin's past, and you go, well, we all saw the red flags. It was just a matter of time, right? Got his second chance. But what will the Cowboys do about it? Probably nothing. A sternly worded text message.
He was on the straight and narrow, but then he got paid this offseason.
Well, I mean, again, you looked like he had turned his life around and learned his lesson. And again, do you want to overreact to he got a speeding ticket, had a gun, had a little bit of weed? I mean, and if you look at his past, this is kind of minus, like being out past curfew. But at the same time, guy with the red flags there in his background, there's a reason he had to go the route he did to get to the NFL. There's a reason the Cowboys were able to get him so cheap, because he is talented. Dude can play football. And I've said a gazillion times as other people, if you can play, we kind of almost don't care if you help us win games until something bad happens. Then you act like you care. I don't know. Just kind of one of those things. It is what it is. You want to be a part of the show today? Easy to do that. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. On Twitter, I am at Jason Minix. If you're watching on YouTube, you can always comment there. Log in and subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. You can do that. And we'll talk some Spurs coming up as the NBA is making things official. Spurs made it official with Cornet today. In fact, he apparently is having a press conference, maybe even right now. That Durant trade, 7 teams. We'll give you those details. And David Jones-Garcia. Never heard of this guy, but he is tearing it up for the Spurs in the Summer League. We'll talk about it coming up here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We're going to draw one name of a person that sold their car to GiveMeTheVin.com and give them $25,000.
Wow. Give Me The Vin is giving away $25,000 in cash every month.
Could you imagine being that person? Wouldn't that feel great?
That would be awesome.
Well, honey, you won.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Heather Krager of Dallas, Texas won $25,000 in Give Me The Vin's big cash giveaway.
That's so cool.
You could be next to get a little more, maybe a lot more.
I guess that old Mercedes was worth more than I thought.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
The Gomez Law Firm has been San Antonio's trusted law firm for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us today. Jose, tell us about the cases you all specialize in.
We do ride-sharing cases, we do 18-wheeler cases, work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, you need to visit joegomezlaw.com. Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Don't let pain hold you back from living your best life. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arasti. At Arasti, we're dedicated to providing fast, effective relief from pain. Whether you've been dealing with a chronic discomfort for years or have recently suffered an injury, our goal is to help you recover quickly. Our treatment is all natural, non-invasive, and covered by most insurance plans. With convenient locations nearby, relief is just a call away. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Terry's Tiny Homes, Terry! Sure, as the only employee of her company, Terry was probably the front runner, but saving money getting personalized discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive, well, that gave Terry the edge. Over Terry.
Terry, Terry.
Keep awkwardly
Terry,
chanting your own name, Terry. You deserve it.
Woo!
Be your own Terry. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Level up your summer projects with 4th of July savings on top brand cordless power tools from the Home Depot. Whether you're working on a fence, a planter box, or a new workbench, get the power and runtime you need with the Ryobi One Plus 18-volt 2 toolkit from the Home Depot for only $99, was $139. Get 4th of July savings on the cordless power you need to make summer projects easier than ever. Right now at the Home Depot.
If you need to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Zip Intro. Post jobs today, talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Ryan Egel on vacation this week. It's his turn. I'm Jason Minix. I'm working. It is The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. The league year officially here. All the deals that we heard about last week becoming official, including Luke Cornet now as a member of the San Antonio Spurs. And hats off to Brian Wright and the Spurs front office. You know, when you get Bradley Beal going to get damn near $100 million to not play for the Phoenix Suns in a buyout, I look at the way Brian Wright's working contracts. Luke Cornet, who is going to wear number 7 for the San Antonio Spurs, because according to a tweet from Matthew Tynan, he hoped to be a third of the player Tim Duncan was, and he loves multiple factors. If you've seen any interview with Luke Cornet from his time in Boston, you know he's got a personality. He quite frankly, reminds me a lot of Matt Bonner with the personality. Now, I don't know about sandwiches, but the personality. I love that. Yeah, man, 7. I hope to be a third of Timmy. We all do. We all do. The contract, though, well, 4 years, $41 million, and we all celebrated that. Like, man, what a good deal for the San Antonio Spurs. It's even better. I mean, you look at the breakdown of this contract, and you say, all right, let's see, what do we have here? $11 million this year, $10.45 million next year. In the third year of his 4-year deal, only 2.5 of the 9.9 is guaranteed. So year 3 is a partially guaranteed. In the fourth year, 9.3 non-guaranteed. Now, what I really love about this, if my math is correct on this, that third year partially guaranteed, I believe that would be the first year of Wemby's extension. That fourth year that's not guaranteed at all, that would be, I don't know, when Steph Castle's extension is going to kick in. You start getting into the complicated math of this apron, first apron, and second apron, and, you know, and let's not forget De'Aaron Fox, when eligible later in the summer, is going to sign his deal. I just look at this contract, and you look at the guaranteed money for Cornet, and you go, all right, again, credit Brian Wright for bringing in a guy, aging, with a salary that goes down over time, as opposed to you see so many of these, they get more as they get older, and you know that they're going to be diminished at that point. I just, seeing the details of this contract get me even more excited about this Luke Cornet deal, if I'm reading that correctly. And I am. The idea that in 4 years, 41, even if the whole thing was fully guaranteed, I'd have been impressed. I thought it was a hell of a deal for the San Antonio Spurs. But to see the way it's broken down, that's the Spurs planning for the future. That's the Spurs knowing we've got to pay Wemby, we've got to pay Steph Castle, and they're going to pay De'Aaron Fox. They made the move to get him. It just seems brilliant. And seeing a tweet from Paul Garcia, with Cornet earning $11 million, the Spurs are $12.2 million below the tax, $20.3 million under the first apron. So they still have some things they could do this offseason, and kind of wish they would. Kind of was hoping by the time we got back from the 4th of July holiday weekend that they would have made a move over the weekend as things became official. I mean, all right, I can hear Pledger laughing in the other room. You're probably laughing wherever you are. I don't know why my expectations were so high, but they're not being met as a Spurs fan. And I could tell you this weekend in Colorado, I was wearing a Spurs T-shirt on Saturday. We went up to Garden of the Gods, And Rob Thompson was with us and his wife and my wife, and, met some dude from San Antonio because I'm wearing a Spurs shirt. And he's like, hey, you guys from San Antonio, are they going to do anything this offseason? Now, that guy had no idea what Rob and I do for a living, I don't think. Maybe he did. I don't know. But the idea that it just feels like every Spurs fan is ready to hit the gas pedal and go. What are we waiting for? You see all these other moves being made, especially in the West. Are the Spurs contenders? And I know Joe and I talked about this last week. Right now, would you say the Spurs are in the top 6? I say no. What's nuts is before the draft and before free agency, I thought the Spurs were as currently constructed. I thought the Spurs, when they made the move last year for De'Aaron Fox, last year they would have been a playoff team. And I thought that was the signal that the Spurs were ready to stop skipping steps and become a legitimate playoff contender and build a championship-level roster. And they've signed Luke Cornet. They drafted another guard. Now, I'm high on the draft picks. I really am. Want to see them. But I'm high on the draft picks. But I thought, man, they've got flexibility in free agency. They've got all this capital they could use for trades, that they could go out and get somebody. They could go make some moves. I wanted Kevin Durant. That didn't happen. But it doesn't even have to be a superstar. Who can come in and contribute to get this team better? That Kevin Durant deal got made official, and it turns out it's a 7-team trade when it's all said and done. 20 different people involved. Pretty incredible when you look at it. And, but ultimately, Houston has gotten a lot better. And maybe that's why the Spurs are hitting a little bit of pause right now. Why spend money if you don't think you can actually compete? Are you willing to go into the tax if you don't have a team capable of competing for a championship? But when we talk about skipping steps, isn't the next step to be a playoff team? I mean, it's been so long. It's been Luke Cornet's jersey number since the Spurs have been in the playoffs. Isn't that the next step? Get a little playoff experience? See what that feels like for some of these young players? For Wemby? I mean, wouldn't it be nice for Wemby to have a playoff run in him before he signs that next deal? I mean, this contract that Cornet signed is set up to kind of help when Wemby's contract kicks in. And we all know that it's a percentage of caps. All the people that were just freaking out over what Devin Booker is going to get paid as he signed that 2-year extension with the Phoenix Suns, it's a percentage of cap. SGA, percentage of cap. And I know we're getting close to these NBA dudes making damn near $1 million a game. But it's all a percentage of cap. And the numbers keep rising, which means those salaries are going to keep rising. I mean, did you see Cooper Flagg? That dude's probably going to make $1 billion or close to it before he's 30 years old in NBA salaries if he gets all the max extensions he's predicted to get. And that has nothing to do with endorsement money. That's just NBA salary for Cooper Flagg because it's percentage of cap. The cap keeps going up, and that's what's going to keep happening. Kind of thought we'd see a little bit more activity from the Spurs over the weekend, even if it's a small move. And I'm not talking about them completing the trade with Indiana for a dude you didn't know in cash considerations. And have you ever wondered, what does cash considerations actually mean? You never really see a consistent dollar amount to it. And is it they consider sending you cash, or is it a certain amount of cash? But it's a second-round pick, which are, I don't want to say worthless because everybody's going to point to Manu Ginobili, right? But there's not a whole lot of second-round picks that are impact players in the NBA. The percentage of successful second-round picks is pretty small. But there's value in there just in working trades because of cash considerations.
I mean, Joker turned out pretty good.
I mean, like I said, there's an example. And again, everybody's going to come up with the same 3 to 5 examples.
Do they get to use these cash considerations on Project Marvel?
No. Oh, maybe. Maybe. I don't know what the cash is for. Can you use it for whatever you want, or does it have to be for, I don't know, new practice towels? I mean, cash considerations. Spurs did complete a trade, so you can't tell me they didn't do anything. They've added cash considerations. And I don't know how much the cash considerations are actually going to help this team become a playoff team. Although 2 games into the Summer League out there in California, some dude named David Jones Garcia would love cash considerations for his play. Now, admittedly, I last night landed close to 7. Got home, remembered the game was on, put it on. It was fourth quarter. I didn't see much. I didn't see much. David Jones Garcia led the Spurs in scoring in Game 1. The report that I read had no mention of this guy, even though he was the leading scorer. Last night's game, still no mention of David Jones Garcia. We looked him up. You probably Googled him too. I have no idea. What is he, 6'4", small forward from the DR? Played at a couple of big-time college programs. I have no idea what the Spurs' plans are for this guy, if he fits. But my goodness, you're a leading scorer in 2 preseason or 2 summer league games like that. Is there anything there? Or is he kind of like one of those guys in the NFL that are incredible in August and can never do squat once they make it to the NFL regular season? I don't know if he's destined for the G League or what his future is, and I've never seen him play. By the time I got home last night and put the game on, I didn't get to see him. So he's the chupacabra as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I have no idea who he is. I've never seen him play, but I look at the box score and say, who is this guy? Did you watch any of the games over the weekend, James?
Yeah, I watched last night's game.
I mean, does this guy look like he has a future? I mean,
it's tough to say because of the competition, but he's obviously been the best player, and that includes the first game where we did get to see Carter Bryant play.
Well, and again, and Carter Bryant, I did see this on Twitter. People calling him a bust already. Stop. It's one of the things that I don't like about Twitter. I mean, one, he's a rookie. If you recall Wemby's first game, people were calling, Spurs made a mistake. Dude, it's the Summer League. It is so difficult. You just want to see him, and you want to see him healthy. He didn't play yesterday. Not a surprise there, too. I saw people complaining about that. Oh, it would be the Spurs to load manage in the summer. It's normal. I mean, this is normal. It's kind of, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. Don't overreact. It's Summer League. I mean, a lot of times these guys are playing out of position or in different roles than they would play once the regular season gets there, or if they make the NBA, or, in a place like Harrison Ingram. He's playing well in the Summer League. Second-year guy, spent a lot of time up in Austin, and unless you are, I don't always say degenerate, but some of you I know watch the Austin Spurs on the regular. Some of you watch when they're on because there's nothing else on. I would personally fall into that category, but you could see the improvement that Harrison Ingram has made. In fact, he even talked about where he is now versus 1 year ago.
I think just my composure, and the game has slowed down so much. Yeah. Like today I was drawing fouls that I just wouldn't have even seen last year, and really my three-point shot, I feel a lot more confident shooting threes off the dribble, off the bounce, and really just my knowledge of the game. Playing in the Austin a lot this year, got the ball a lot, and then going back and forth. I got to learn from guys like HB, all the vets we had in our team, and, seeing how they work out, seeing how they train. I feel like my game has just grown so much since college.
And it has, and that's the beauty of the Summer League. That's the beauty of the G League, is you could see where he's grown. But even Mike Noyes, who's the coach of the Summer Spurs, talked about Harrison Ingram and the impact that he is having, with this group.
Yeah, he's a good facilitator for us, and he knows what he has to do to impact NBA winning. And so that's one of the tougher parts of Summer League is guys are in a role that is not exactly the role that's going to make them successful in the NBA, right? There's only one ball, and a lot of these guys, they may be the best creator for this team, but that might not be what gets them minutes on a team where we do have De'Aaron, we have Victor, we have Steph, and the list goes on, right? Devin, Kelda, everyone. So Harrison's done a great job buying in. I think our team has a good understanding of what outputs we want to produce on every possession. And so he went ISO a few times today, but I thought he had some good pull-behind passes, some good kick-outs, settled in as the game went on. And hopefully he'll be good to play both halves on Tuesday. Yep.
Yeah, maybe. Both halves. We should see Bryant. They play the Lakers tomorrow night. Late game, too. Late game, which is nice. I certainly don't mind the later games, although I might feel differently in the second half of that game. But it's the Lakers. The Summer Spurs currently 1-1 before they head to Vegas for the other part of Summer League. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. One of the big question marks about the Dallas Cowboys is the offensive line. How good could this group actually be? We'll get into that and Kavonte Turpin arrested as we continue here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. When you need an electrician, you know Hill Electric is available for both residential and commercial needs. I've used Hill Electric for a variety of projects at my house. They've added extra outlets in the garage, a spotlight over one of the grills outside, dimmer lights in the living room. For well over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. And one of the great things with Hill Electric, they've got the right service for you at the right price, but there is never a service charge and always free estimates. So it costs you absolutely nothing to figure out what it will take to get a project done. Whether it's something at your office, project at the house, call Hill Electric, 210-404-9074. 404-9074 or hill-electric.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle, the Spurs head to Vegas. We'll try to figure out who Kyle Mangas is going to be playing along with Mohamed Diouf. What do you think?
I think yes. And we'll take a look at the NFL season coming up. It is the Morning Huddle. Don't be late. Our party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When it comes to keeping your pumps running smooth, L&S Pump Repair has you covered. 24/7 on-site service for saltwater disposal and pump repairs. From Quintaplex to H-Pumps, they've got parts ready and the skills to get you back in the game fast. Need a whole new pump package? L&S builds custom skid packages too. Don't let knocking pumps or slow flow slow you down. Call L&S Pump Repair 936-853-3810. Keep your flow strong, San Antonio.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in San Antonio without using your own money? You'll learn to flip houses and secure rental properties in your spare time to get on track towards real wealth building. We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in San Antonio for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text EARN to 64,000. San Antonio is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in San Antonio and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text EARN to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text EARN to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text EARN to 64,000.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you tried online gaming. Who knew 12-year-old boys could be so mean? And where did they learn to swear like that? 2 hours of losing to these underage trash talkers, and you're starting to question if maybe you really should stick to pickleball and other boomer stuff. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Now more than ever,
Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
Cowboy making the news for getting arrested. Welcome to July. It is the Blitz here on 94.1, a San Antonio sports star. I'm Jason Minix. Joe Reinagel on vacation this week. And yes, it's Kavonte Turpin. And if you were to have some sort of poll, if you were to put odds on what Cowboy would be arrested, because of his history, you would probably think that Turpin would be pretty high. Because you think about everything that he got in trouble for while at TCU, his path to the NFL, certainly unconventional because of his off-the-field issues. To the point, and I didn't know this until I read it in a Mac Engel column in the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, TCU doesn't even claim him. You know, in their list of former pros, TCU guy or former frogs that are now in the pros, they don't include Kavonte Turpin. And, you know, the red flag, and it goes off. Now, according to TMZ, he was arrested in Allen, pulled over on Saturday night near midnight, 11:49 p.m., clocked him going 97 in a 70. During the traffic stop, authorities claim an unholstered 9mm pistol was seen in plain view in the back of the wide receiver's car, a 2022 Dodge, and he had less than 2 ounces of weed in the center console. He's out on bail. And again, if it's just any other player, you probably go, all right, you know, a little bit of weed. Can't believe you got arrested for that. Gun, dude. Speeding, but it's Kavonte Turpin. The red flags are there. Kind of feels like he's been really good since he's made it to the NFL. He was really good while in the USFL. And those spring leagues, a second chance league for some, and others it's work on your game for an opportunity at the NFL. For Kavonte Turpin, it was clearly a second chance league. He was the MVP the year he played. And he got a job with the Dallas Cowboys, and he's been great as a Cowboy return man and a bit of a gadget guy, but he's got a role with this team. Cowboys haven't responded yet. Of course, it's middle of July, and I'm sure they'll say they're going to handle things internally. You know, all the stuff that teams always say, and you always wonder, what does that really mean? Extra wind sprints? No dessert? Well, I mean, seriously. Well, I mean, the NFL's personal conduct, again, do they take his history into account, or do they say 2 ounces of weed, 97, gun? Come on. What do you figure, a game suspension, maybe, or just a fine? It'll be interesting to see what the NFL does, and do they take his history into account. Publicly, the Cowboys will say all the right things. Behind the scenes, dude, don't do that again. Slow down, and I don't know if he's got all the permits to carry a gun, that sort of stuff. And again, if he had it under a sweatshirt or in the glove box, cop probably writes him a ticket for going 97 and sends him on his way. But because it was just open, just sitting out on the seat, cop sees it, and now you're in trouble, and they're going through the rest of your car, and they find your weed, which is still illegal in this state. And so, again, dumb. I mean, it's just dumb and careless. And sometimes you wonder with Although half the people, I think, or more than half the people that get arrested, they think, well, they're not going to arrest me for that. It's not worth the paperwork. But for you, dude, it's you. You're going to make the news. Everybody's going to know, and now everybody's going to second guess, and everybody is going to bring up what you've done in the past and say, well, all the warning signs were there, but the Cowboys rolled the dice. And again, on surface, for most people, yes, he broke the law, but is that
not a big deal.
Exactly. But it's Kavonte Turpin, and that makes it a bigger deal because of his history.
You were bringing up if the NFL takes his history into concern, because none of that happened in the NFL with him.
I don't know. I honestly, with the NFL's personal conduct policy, I don't know what the rules are when they come to doling out punishment. And quite honestly, I don't know if it should matter. Well, this is what you did in college. But a lot of guys, there is a reason that guy went undrafted. There is a reason he was playing over, what was it, in Europe with Art Briles? Was it Italy or something like that in one of those leagues? Then he got to the USFL. And quite honestly, I think Daryl Johnston and the Birmingham Stallions coaching staff really did a good job of getting him. Wasn't he with Birmingham? Whichever team he was. I think it was Birmingham.
Yeah.
Because he was doing everything right. The redemption was there. Had he learned from everything? Now, again, a little bit of weed and a gun. For a lot of dudes. Now, if Kavonte Turpin had some sort of domestic violence issue over the weekend, that's a whole different conversation that we would be having right now. And while I'm sitting here saying, well, were the signs there? A little bit of weed and a gun is far different than domestic violence issues. But you do wonder how the Cowboys will actually handle this. Now, as we get ready for the Cowboys season, it is the 7th. So in 20 days, 3 weeks, less than 3 weeks, the San Antonio Sports Star crew will be in Oxnard, California for our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage. We actually leave on the 26th.
I was wondering.
On the 27th, we will be out there. That's the first padded practice. It'll be a lot of fun. And the questions that you consistently get when you're talking about the Dallas Cowboys is, why is Vegas down on the Cowboys? You look around, I've seen their win total either 7.5 or 8.5, depending on where you look, which I think is an incredible value. Now, I'm a Cowboy fan, but 7.5, 8.5, I look at this team with a healthy Dak Prescott that added a Pickens, some semblance of a real run game this year. Why are the Cowboys looked at the way they are? All right, well, granted, Philadelphia is the defending Super Bowl champions. They're in the NFC East. Washington, are they going to have a step back or are they going to build? You look at their offseason, they've improved their roster. So right now, as we sit on the 7th day of July, the Cowboys are the third best team in the NFC East, right? You look at their schedule. It's not a cupcake schedule. Their non-NFC East games are pretty tough. But where are their biggest question marks on the offensive side? It's the offensive line and the run game. Those kind of go hand in hand. The run game should be better if Javonte Williams can come in and be the guy that we all thought. He'll be the, I don't know, I at least right now penciled in as a starter. Jaden Blue is probably going to get a lot of run, but he's coming in as a rookie, and he did fumble the ball a lot at Texas, so how is he going to be? Miles Sanders, who knows? Hunter Lupke, what's he going to do? Malik Davis is still around, but he isn't going to do anything. Deuce Vaughn, I think, has the most experience, him or Malik, right? So when you look at this, all right, there's still questions. Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, they did draft a dude in, the 7th round? I don't even know if he'll make the team, right? So when you look at it, running back position is still a question mark for the Dallas Cowboys, although it's improved from what they rolled out a year ago. And if Javonte Williams can be anything close to what he was expected for the injuries, and he's had enough time from the injuries to be back close to what he was, if he's ever going to get there again. Then you look at the offensive line. Now, my expectation for the offensive line, a little bit different than some, although they've got to live up to that expectation. They've got 3 first-round draft picks on that offensive line. You do that, you better be good, although it could take some time. Pro Football Focus today releases their rankings of offensive lines, and the Dallas Cowboys offensive line is ranked 23rd. 23rd. Now, 23rd? Now, they do all the math and all the analytics to come up with this list. But the Cowboys, a lot of things they don't do well, but putting together an offensive line has always been one of the things they've done. You know, Troy and Emmett had all that success because they had one of the best offensive lines. Tony Romo didn't have playoff success, but had one of the best offensive lines. Wasn't that long ago, this group, was it just because Zach Martin left that they dropped all the way down to 23 because Zach Martin retired this offseason? I know Tyler Guyton has got to be better than what he was last year. Tyler Guyton, his rookie year, not good. But you expect some sort of growth. You expect him to get better. Cooper Beebe, good. Tyler Booker, first-round draft pick. Dude, you're going to replace Zach Martin. It ain't going to be the same. There should be drop-off because you're replacing a Hall of Famer, but you're a first-round pick. I mean, so you got 3 first-round draft picks. Cooper Beebe was, what, 3rd round, 4th round? And then you got a Terrence Steele, who was an undrafted guy that played well enough to get a big contract. And if Terrence Steele can get back to playing at the level before his massive knee injury, that offensive line could be a pretty good unit. Could be. And I say that, could be. Because if the offensive line stays in the 20s, it doesn't matter who Dak is throwing the ball to, he's not going to have enough time. Or a lot of dump-offs to a running back out of the backfield, Jaden Blue, or Jake Ferguson. And Jake Ferguson has to get back to what he was 2 years ago. Last year, Jake Ferguson fell off a cliff. Can the Cowboys do that? But when you look at in the run game, if there's no holes for them to run through, what are they going to do? I mean, it doesn't matter. Quite frankly, Barry Sanders is the only running back that's ever been successful behind a piss-poor offensive line. And there is nobody in the caliber of Barry Sanders anywhere near this Dallas Cowboys roster. So, I was honestly surprised when I clicked that link this morning on the Pro Football Focus to see the Cowboys at 23. I don't know where I would rank them. I don't know how to rank offensive lines. I really don't. But I wouldn't have thought with 3 first-round picks that they would be that bad. Maybe 15, somewhere kind of in the middle. But they're not. For the record, the Houston Texans, their offensive line on this ranking, 32. Dead last. Dead last. Pro Football Focus, right? The presence of veterans Laramie Tunsil and Shaq Mason prevented an already shaky Texans offensive line from being even worse in 24, and the team cut ties with both this offseason. Now, there's very little suggests that group isn't deserving of the number 32 ranking ahead of the season. And again,
that tells me they didn't see Shaq Mason play last year.
Well, they do all the grading and all this and all that. The reality is, C.J. Stroud took a step back last year. Why? Well, he didn't forget how to play football. The offensive line was awful. Anybody not named Dak Prescott has realistic reasons, not excuses, as to why there's poor play. The running game, not as good behind a bad offensive line. But to see the Houston Texans at 32, that surprised me. That does. They can only get better. It's nuts when you look at some of these Pro Football Focus rankings. And again, they use math to figure these out. It's not just somebody's opinion, because I wouldn't have them there. By the way, their defensive line rankings, the Houston Texans come in at number 4. That doesn't surprise me. The Cowboys' defensive line comes in at number 12, according to Pro Football Focus. That's a little surprising. Maybe. Because that's kind of where, the offensive line should be right in there. Now, the Cowboys last year, they couldn't stop the run. They were one of the worst run defenses last year. Now, they were pretty good on pass rush because of Micah Parsons. Oso Odigizua has got to do some stuff. But if the Cowboys can improve their run defense while maintaining what they do on their pass defense, they would easily jump in high in the top 10. They're just outside it right now at number 12. So any kind of run stoppage, and again, you look at what Matt Eberflus typically does and what he does with linebackers, getting a better effort, if you will, or whatever the word is, from their run defense, better production there and stopping the run, things could change. But when you think about, games are won and lost in the trenches for both the Texas NFL teams, it's kind of strange to see them being so good on one side, yet so not good on the other. Like if you're a Texan fan, yeah, our defensive line is great, ranked number 4. We're not going to talk about our offensive line. We're 32, right? I mean, it's strange though. But then you look at a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, same kind of thing. The Kansas City Chiefs. Let me find them real quick here on the list. They're not good really on either. Now Philadelphia is number 2, Pittsburgh number 1 on the list of ranking the defensive lines. Again, not really a surprise, but the Kansas City Chiefs, they're at number 15 on defensive line. On offensive line, though, the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that typically goes to the Super Bowl, they're at number 20. But they got Patrick Mahomes, and he can make up for a lot of mistakes. Mm-hmm. Not many teams can say that.
They lost Joe Thuney, though, in free agency. So, I understand part of the reasoning behind where they are in the offensive line. As far as the Cowboys, I see that at 12, and I'm like, yeah, okay. You mean the additions of Solomon Thomas, who is a run stuffer of sorts more than a pass rusher. You have your Micah Parsons and your Oso Odighizuwas. You brought back a Dante Fowler. They added a lot of pieces onto that defensive line to where I could see having them at 12 as kind of the right spot for them.
Well, and again, I'm not complaining about 12. It's surprising because to me, I'm surprised they're at 12 because of how bad they were last year on stopping the run. See, it's almost the Cowboys have had a sneaky good offseason that they don't get credit for because all of these guys that they brought in, especially veteran guys that have kind of been busts or were a first-round pick or were this, were that on a one-year deal, but they brought in a lot of them. So if they hit on a couple of them, they don't even have to hit on all of them. They didn't put all their eggs in one basket this offseason. Yet, you look around and 7.5 wins, 8.5 wins. This is more, imagine taking the under on 7.5. Your thoughts on the Dallas Cowboys, right? This is so much more healthy than a 6-win team. And you could say that about every team out there. Patrick Mahomes gets hurt in the 3rd week of the season. Kansas City's probably not going to be very good. Right? I think you can say that about most teams. Mm-hmm. They have some devastating injuries, any team. So it's always win healthy, but we always have to caveat it that way. But Dak Prescott, during a healthy season, should be able to get to 9-10 regular season wins. And that doesn't even guarantee you're making the playoffs. 10 wins doesn't guarantee you the playoffs. With 17 regular season games, looking at the NFC East, they might need 12 wins to get into the postseason. Coming out of the NFC this year, right? But if you're going to Vegas and you see 7.5 and you're taking the under, I just know you hate the Cowboys. But I'm always, but again, Vegas knows. What do they know? Why do I think, man, this feels like a sucker's bet?
And you talk about sprinkling their eggs all over. You brought up Solomon Thomas and the first-round bust, but remember, they were lauded for their pick of Donovan Azaraku out of Boston College in the second round, nerd defensive lineman. Plus, remember all the rage last year when y'all first got to training camp. It was about Sam Williams. Sam Williams then promptly suffers a knee injury.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming back. That same expectation probably still there, coming back healthy.
I don't know how many defensive line groups would be good if you lost your top 4 players. You look at D-Law, you look at, all of them. And again, reasons or excuses. But not many teams out there can go that deep in their depth chart and be good. Well, we'll all blame Zimmer for his 1-year debacle, and it was awful, right? Don't get me wrong. But also, he was a bit handcuffed because of injuries. And you go back and, again, reasons or excuses. And they're a combination of both. But injuries are real, and depth is an issue. But not many teams can go that deep and still find a whole lot of success. We'll see. Cannot wait. 3 weeks. 3 weeks we'll be in Oxnard, California for our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage. Cannot wait. Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, and Kavonte Turpin. Nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. You find yourself arrested, or you get a phone call from a family member, a friend of yours, they've been arrested. Of course, you want to get out of jail fast. The best way to do that, call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans. They have a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7. Offices all over San Antonio and Texas. So if you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Ahead of the field and throws it down with a right hand.
Your home for the NBA.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Hi there, I'm John O'Hurley. You know our pets are beloved family members. But sadly, though, there are so many dogs that get euthanized every day due to the lack of funding. To give them a chance at adoption, I invite you to support Puppy Food Bank. Thanks to generous donors like you, all of the food sent to pet shelters from Puppy Food Bank never comes with a bill. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a generous, caring $15 donation every month. Your donation will absolutely save pet lives.
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings. Find your flavor playbook at H-E-B and make every bite count, because when it's crunch time, there's only one snack you need on your team: Southern Recipe Small Batch.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and the Gomez Law Firm present the second annual Back to School Drive, Saturday, August 2nd from 11 till 1 p.m. or while supplies last at the Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Free backpacks and school supplies for all school-aged children while supplies last, so don't be late. Presented by the Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Sponsored in part by North Park Toyota, Central Mid, Romo Doors, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
In the NFL, with the devastating floods in the Texas Hill Country over the weekend, both the Cowboys and Texans have each donated $500,000 to relief efforts. Speaking of the Cowboys, All-Pro kick returner Kavonte Turpin was arrested over the weekend and released on bond. He is facing misdemeanor charges of possessing marijuana less than 2 ounces and unlawful carrying of a weapon. In Major League Baseball, the All-Star reserves and pitchers were announced as Astros shortstop Jeremy Pena, starting pitcher Hunter Brown, and closer Josh Hader all made the roster, while the Rangers' only selection was starting pitcher Jacob deGrom. I'm James Pledger for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are...
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Maybe you're watching on YouTube. You can always subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. You can comment there. Reinagel is on vacation this week. I'm Jason Minix. Pleasure producing as always on this Monday after a long holiday weekend, although the celebrations, what we were thinking Thursday and what ultimately happened, it's tough. And look, this is the toy department. We're a distraction from reality. I know it's tough to come in here and talk sports on a day like today with all weekend. You're just consumed by the news. I know when I got home last night, just watching all the different news coverage this morning, watching a lot of news, and then I just had to turn it off. I watched more tennis this morning because I just didn't want to watch any more of the news. I mean, just such devastating, heartbreaking video in these stories. And because it is so close to home, it kind of feels like you either know somebody that is dealing with tragedy or you know somebody that is dealing with tragedy. And then, you know, the just the idea that it's summer camp. So many, as a girl dad, especially as a parent, the idea of what those families are going through. I think about the coach on the staff of the Trinity football team whose daughter Kellyanne is still missing. I can't imagine what he is going through and what that coaching staff is going through to try to comfort him. But we're the distraction. And so if you want to be the distraction, join us for the next couple hours while we talk sports. That's what we are. That's what we're here for. Normally, we're the distraction from your whatever you're dealing with in your normal life. So we understand what's going on, but at the same time, we've got to, we want to provide the distraction. Now, if you want to help, and we all do, if you go to our sister station's website, KTSA.com, over at KTSA.com, they have compiled a list of ways that you can give, the different places for giving money, from the Kerrville Pets Alive that are looking for food and towels and large animal assistance. The phone number's there. If you need links to make monetary donations, those are there. If you're looking for items that you want to donate, there is a long list of items that officials have provided KTSA of what they need. What they don't want you to do is just show up. And I know a lot of people are just wanting to show up to help. Dude, there's ways to do that too. But at the same time, there needs to be organization, and they need to know who's doing what. But again, it's what Texans do. We want to help. And however you can do that, whether it's pulling up your boots and getting your hands dirty, or putting your credit card in a machine and donating money, or if you have items and you can go to the store and get items. I saw those HEB trucks rolling in. I believe the Express News called them Texas FEMA, and, man, that is so true, because that's what we're going to do. We all want to help. We all want to do something, and there are ways to do it, but it's the right ways to do it, and making sure that your funds, when you donate, are actually going to the right cause, because that's always a concern when things like this happen. But this one, so close to home, and it's tough. Trust me. I was in Colorado over the weekend and trying to stay off of social media, but it's hard to, and because it's so close to home, or people are texting you, or somebody that is going through it. So ways to do it. But again, here till 6 and on Extra Innings with Pledge, a distraction from that. Now, over on KTSA, AM 550 or 107.1, Jack Riccardi, he's got the latest right now. And then that will roll into PAGs. And again, if you want the news, by all means, not often I ask you to go over to KTSA, because, we're not doing updates here other than telling you how you can give some money. Here, we're the distraction. If you just don't want to hear any more of the news, we've got you covered for the next couple hours. Right now, let's do the Headline Blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
A lot going on in the music world. I over the weekend, I went to a show at Red Rocks Amphitheater. Bucket list venue for me, Blues Traveler, Jim Blossoms, Spin Doctors. Jim Blossoms were phenomenal, by the way. They are playing at Whitewater on September 6th. I highly recommend you go to that show. It was that good. Red Rocks is phenomenal. So I missed streaming the Ozzy Black Sabbath final show, and all the different people that were playing at that event. If I were home this weekend, I probably would have plucked down the $30 and watched that. Now I've got to figure out where it's streaming. In fact, if you watched it, tweet me at Jason Minix. Send me a message if you're watching on YouTube and you watched it. Just let me know how it was. But also, what service? Because I was trying to find it last night when I got home from Denver, and I'm not sure where it was streaming, and it might be one of those, it'll be available in a couple days for you to go watch it, but I didn't see it last night, but I saw different people posting that they were watching it or rewatching it, which is why I thought it might be available. But if you bought it the first time, maybe you're able to go back and rewatch it. I will go back and watch that because it looked phenomenal. It looked like it was one of those, although it's time for Ozzy. I mean, it's crazy to say this, and I saw this headline. It was like Ozzy attended his own funeral service because the tributes that were there, and he's at this point of his life. But I've been to some tribute shows. I went to the Chris Cornell tribute show. I went to the Taylor Hawkins tribute show, and they all would have loved it. Ozzy kind of got that with all the big name acts that were there, from Metallica to Hailstorm to David Draymond from Disturbed, all these different, Jack Black, all Ozzy got to witness that. And then his daughter got engaged right in front of him. It seemed cool. I can't wait to go watch it. And then today, major music news. Matt Cameron announced he is leaving the band Pearl Jam. Now, Matt's been with Pearl Jam for 27 years. There are some diehard old school Pearl Jam fans that have never really accepted Matt because, he wasn't the original, and was he the best drummer? But the questions are why. With the Foo Fighters planning shows and yet to announce a new drummer, could he be joining the Foos? That a lot of people on social media immediately went there because Foo Fighters have yet to announce who their new drummer is going to be after Josh Freese was let go. The Pearl Jam on their website only has one show listed for them for the rest of the year, and that's that's a festival, and it just says Eddie Vedder. And I've seen, like, I was at a festival in Phoenix, Innings Fest, a couple years ago, and Eddie Vedder was doing solo. So maybe that's not Pearl Jam, that's just Eddie Vedder at that festival, which either way. But, you know, Pearl Jam, Matt announced he was leaving. They said, we love him. Their announcement, everything you would expect. But at the same time, they didn't say who the new drummer would be. So it is kind of interesting when you start looking and connecting dots on who could be what, but thought it was interesting that immediately people are going, well, I wonder if he's going to be the new Foo Fighters drummer. And how do you quit Pearl Jam to go drum for Foo unless you realize, well, I'm just a touring drummer, and Pearl Jam has nothing on the schedule, and Foo Fighters does. And if they won't let you do both while we're out, multiple projects, but a lot of those drummers, as they get older, can they keep up that pace? I know Taylor Hawkins, before he passed, there was talk about could he continue drumming for Foo Fighters because of the toll it takes on their body. And, you know, there are some drummers that go for a long time, and then there's others that don't. But I know for a lot of people, that Matt Cameron announcement today that he is leaving Pearl Jam was stunning. Not stunning, Joey Chestnut won the hot dog eating contest on Saturday or Friday. 70 and a half hot dogs in 10 minutes. I didn't see any of it. You watched it, Pledge?
No, I can't watch that.
Well, see, a lot of people say they can't watch it, yet they do.
Yeah, I can't. It's the dunking in the water. It's all slimy.
It's hot dogs and buns. It's hot dogs and buns. I didn't see it. I was on an airplane. I guess I could have watched it, but I didn't. And kind of glad I didn't. But if I were at home, I probably would have. But in honor of Joey Chestnut at a 7-Eleven in Colorado, I saw something and I thought, oh, I got to try these. And this is a bad mistake, but in reality, this is saving you guys a couple of bucks. They are called hot dog flavored wavy potato chips. Don't get them. They were awful. They were awful. But I had to try them. I saw them and I'm like, it's 4th of July weekend. Why not? We've got to stop with these flavored chips. Have you seen those Pringles that are supposedly flavored like Miller Lite? I haven't tried those.
What?
Yeah. Pringles has got some wicked flavors right now that I just look at and go, why? I don't want that. But I tried some beef jerky that was flavored on the way back from the coast a couple months ago. That was a bad idea. We've got to stop with these infused flavors. I don't know any of them that are actually good. But let me save you some money. The hot dog flavored chips, unless you really like relish and mustard, don't try those chips. They were not good. Now, I had about 4 or 5 of them to make sure I didn't like them. Rob had one. Think about that. Rob Thompson had one chip, one potato chip, for him to decide they weren't good. I gave it a couple of tries just to see. They're not good. They're not. But think about that. Who can eat just one potato chip and say, no, I'm good? I don't know anybody. I mean, they're addicting for a reason. Even if you don't like, that's like me. Well, no, not good. Save your money. Don't get the hot dog flavored potato chips. And these are the wavy kind. I don't even know if the regular kind would be any better. Unless you really, really love relish. I can only imagine if you take like relish and get a spoon and just eat it out of the jar, you might like these potato chips. That's about it. See the college football rankings that came out, Pledge, for the EA game?
I've heard of some of them. One of them is absurd.
Are you talking about the punter from Kentucky?
That's the one.
Dude got a toughness rating of 0. The only one in the entire game with a 0 rating for toughness. Now, I don't know how they determine that. I have no idea.
He had to have cried in an interview.
I mean, what happened? How do you get a 0 toughness rating? Was there something on film that nobody has seen? I saw in Phil Steele's magazine, and Phil is going to be on with us tomorrow. He's like second or third team All-SEC. Was there a tackle that he could have made and he completely whiffed and the game gave him a 0 rating? Was there a story about him wimping out in a bar fight somewhere in Lexington where he got a 0 toughness rating? And if you're a punter, how do you raise your toughness rating? But you're the only one. Every team has a punter. Every team has a kicker. Yet he is the only one that got a 0 rating for toughness?
Every opportunity he's had to make a tackle has to be an Olay of some sort. Has to be. That's the only way, right?
I guess.
But how do you make second team All-SEC?
Well, he can punt the ball well. Does he have to ice his foot because it hurts after every punt? And somebody knows that? And so they gave him a 0 toughness rating? I mean, how is this guy? He's on the football team. He's a punter. But even the special teamers can get the ladies because they're on the team. Except for this guy with a 0 toughness rating. I mean, the cheerleaders have a higher toughness rating than that. And you're the only one? Like if they gave all kickers and punters a 0 rating.
That'd be different.
It'd be a bad stereotype. But you're right. But he's the only one in the entire game. And apparently it wasn't a glitch or a typo. There is somebody out there hates punters from Kentucky that gives those ratings. That is the only thing that could make sense.
Has to, because they will not give out 100. 99's as high as you can go in a game. I would figure 1 would be as low as you can go.
He got a 0.
That's insane. They'll give a 0, but not 100.
I guess. It's a bizarre story. Poor kid. No love for punters, which is understandable. But a 0 toughness rating?
Punters and bases.
Crazy. What a weekend for the Houston Astros. What a weekend for the Astros. Plus, the All-Star players were announced. Speaking of the All-Star game, next Tuesday night, that is what is going to be happening, is the All-Star game next Tuesday. You know where we're going to be? We're going to be at the Roo Pub. The Blitz live next Tuesday out at the Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road, because you know if there's any big game, any big event, no better place than the Roo Pub with those 3 massive 170-inch screens, TVs all around, all the big fights, all the big games, and the food at the Roo is fantastic. They got the biggest and best wings in town, about 15 different burgers on the menu. I love the hot dogs over there, the fried shrimp. Pledge loves their salads. A great appetizer, and that kitchen is open late every day with the full menu available. So when you need a late-night meal, don't go to a drive-thru. Go to the Roo Pub there at 281 and Redland Road. Don't forget Wednesdays, every Wednesday, steak night, that 12-ounce ribeye, great steak for $19.95. That includes your salad and your potato. It is fantastic. You can't beat that deal. And like I said, the steak, high quality, 12-ounce ribeye. It's a damn good steak. Happy hour at the Roo Pub happens every weekday from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant, the Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
The Morning Huddle.
It's tennis elbow. If it's on the inside of your elbows, it's golfer's elbow. It's where those forearm muscles insert into your elbow, and for whatever reason, everybody will get it at some point.
But Rob doesn't work out, and he has
no.
Well, I do certain things.
Yeah, well, I was trying to get the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, you are left-handed. Never mind.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, Joe Fortenbaugh here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with the promo code JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait one sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying forwarded. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Payout via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Circa Million and Circa Survivor are back with a massive $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Circa Million. Pick 5 games against the spread each week. 126 ways to win with $6 million guaranteed. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week. No point spread. Last the longest to win it all. $15 million guaranteed. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. $21 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is AJ Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. Join me and Rob Thompson tomorrow morning at 6 for the perfect ride to work on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
And the Astros broke out the brooms in Los Angeles. What a weekend for the Houston Astros. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagel has the week off. His turn to go on vacation. I'm Jason Minix on a Monday afternoon. You could always be a part of the show on Twitter. You can get me at Jason Minix. If you're on YouTube, you can always comment there, subscribe. Lots of comments about the Rue Pub and people that work there, and yes, to all of those. You can dial us up, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. In fact, you could use that number now because we got a pair of tickets to give away to see Hot Wheels Monster Truck, the Glow in Fire. Glow in Fire. Playing the Frostbank Center July 26th or 27th. So, Pledge, are we giving away tickets for the 26th or tickets for the 27th, or we don't know? We have no idea. You're going to get tickets for one of those days, Make yourself available. They're free. You want to go? Be caller number 9 right now. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Would have done 29, but that wouldn't be fair to pledge. But I did 9 because the Astros, they outscored the Dodgers 29-6 over the weekend. 29-6. Now, the Astros have been playing great baseball. In fact, 9 of the last 12 games were against first place Philadelphia, first place Chicago, and first place L.A. They're 8-1 in those games. Now, sandwiched in there, they played the piss-poor Colorado Rockies and went 2-1 against the Rockies. But they're playing great baseball. Now, in that 18-1 blowout win on Friday, because they were just so dominant, of all people, Oral Hershiser had to bring up trash cans.
Hit hard to deep center field. Pages on the run. Will turn and watch this one wedge itself in the bottom of the wall. And Cam Smith flying into second, anchoring there with another extra base hit for the Astros. Double homer double to open third against Casparius.
I don't want to open an old wound, but in some ways they're swinging at these breaking balls like they know what it's coming. I mean, that is not a bad pitch. It's really a very good pitch. Low and away. Probably would have ended up by the ankles if it would have made it past the bat. That's the other thing that you analyze. You analyze your grip, your delivery, your glove position on different pitches. Am I giving something away?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on. At what point, and Pledge and I were talking about this earlier. I want to say Jose Altuve and Lance McCullers are the only two left from that team. And I'm really not sure, is there one or two Dodgers that are left from that scandal? Now, it's a fan thing. Surprised to hear it from a broadcaster like Oral Hershiser, but not surprised to hear it from fans. I think Dodger fans and fans that hate the Astros, they are going to talk about trash cans until they can't breathe, right? That's just the way it's going to be. As an Astro fan, I'm cool with it. I expect it. I expect it from fans, especially Dodger fans, and I get it. I get it. But to hear that from Oral Hershiser, a little surprising. 18-1, right? 18-1. 18-1.
Yeah, that makes me so happy.
Dude, 18-1. I mean, and for the Astros to sweep the series against the Dodgers, but to outscore them 29-6. Now, granted, 18 in one game. I mean, the Astros are playing good, and there's still questions about how good this team really is, and what could they do at the end of the month during the trade deadline to make a run at the World Series. Let's be honest. As an Astro fan, my expectations for this year weren't high. I wasn't thinking this was a World Series caliber team. And I don't know that they have a World Series caliber pitching staff. But that could change around the deadline. I mean, things could happen. But you look around and you go, you know what? We could add to this team and get better. Although they do get 3 on the All-Star roster. Jeremy Pena, Hunter Brown, and Josh Hader. Little surprised Framber Valdez didn't make it. He could probably get added. You talk about the trade deadline, Jacob deGrom, the only Texas Ranger. Okay? I think the Rangers got the pitching. They just don't have the bats. I mean, and granted, they've got some guys that have let them down, like Josh Young, who's, I believe, still in AAA. He didn't get called up over the weekend, right? So, but again, you look at the trade deadline coming up for Major League Baseball, I think the Astros need to find some pitching. The Rangers are going to be looking for some bats if they could figure that out. Because the Rangers, like last night's game against the Padres, right? Timely hitting, and that's a different ballgame. And it feels like the Rangers lose a lot of games just because they couldn't get that timely hit. They couldn't get that key hit. They can't hit the ball well with runners in scoring position. You know, you look at the LOB for the Rangers and you go, good Lord, right? So I think the Astros, as we get close to the deadline, will look to bolster pitching. Rangers are looking for a bat. Saw Jeff Passan on TV earlier today on ESPN, you know, talking about the Pittsburgh Pirates will sell everybody they have except Paul Skeens. Could you imagine what Skeens would get if the Pirates were to say, you know, we suck? And what would you give up to get him?
Does it matter? If you said, because it's literally their only draw, their ticket draw, right?
Sure.
So no matter what you got in return, does it equal a Paul Skeens? To me, the answer is no.
You know, wouldn't you have made the same argument about the Angels and Ohtani?
Yeah, and the Angels are awful, and nobody wants to go to their games now.
Well, again, but when it was contract time, so Skeens, when it's close to contract time, that's when he'll get dealt, because Pittsburgh isn't going to pay him.
Exactly.
I mean, right now, I'm with you, but again, if you can overhaul your roster, if you're about winning, you have to look at that. If you're not about winning and you're just looking at who your draw is, I suppose that's the case.
I've never, in the last 10 years, went, the Pittsburgh Pirates, they're about winning.
Well, I mean,
maybe 2 decades.
You know, it's crazy because baseball is so Washington. They fire their manager and their GM. The draft is next week. Right? They got the number 1 pick. It's the same duo that helped them win a World Series a couple of years ago.
Wasn't it 22? Yeah, wasn't it 22 against the Astros in the World Series?
Was it 22 or 19? Either way.
It's close.
I mean, either way, that manager and that GM with a couple of number 1 picks, and they know what to do at number 1. You fire him? Why? Because next week he's got his opt-in date in his contract. We can't let you do that. We'll fire you today. We'll just figure it out, man. We'll draft on the fly. You've done all the work. We know who we want. We know who you wanted, so you're fired, and we're just going to take that guy. Leave good notes.
The mock draft will tell us who to take.
It's crazy. Crazy. This is when I'm like most of you. I know there's some of you that go home and watch baseball every day. I watch, I don't want to say a lot of baseball, but, you know, if especially if Joanna's not home, I'm allowed to watch baseball. But, you know, but these couple of weeks, this is when I'm really dialing in on baseball. You get around the All-Star game, you know, pay attention, watch some games here. Maybe they're on the second TV. But this is the month where you dial in on baseball and you decide, do you have a chance or you don't have a chance? And I look especially in the American League. And I see one of the comments on YouTube. Chris says he had the Astros and Rangers playing for the right to go to the World Series. He would have them playing again in the ALCS, just like a couple years ago when the Rangers won it all. I don't know if either one of them are that good. I didn't predict either one of them to be World Series teams. I thought the Rangers would actually be a little bit better this year than what they've been, and I thought it might be a tough year for the Houston Astros. I thought they would be sellers at the deadline and not buyers. But they could be buyers. They could be looking to say, you know what, we've got a group here. Let's make some moves and get there. So, and the Rangers could go either way, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if the Rangers decided at the deadline they were going to sell and trade some players away and say we don't have it this year. Or are they going to be active in trying to go find some bats? It's going to be interesting. And again, the All-Star game next Tuesday, the Blitz live out at the Rue Pub there at 281 and Redland Road. The Astros, like just about every pro sports team, donating money to flood relief. The Astros up to $1 million. I believe what the Texans and Cowboys did, $500,000 each.
Mm-hmm.
I know the Spurs released a statement that they say how much money they're going to donate.
No issue of money, just
typically they don't announce it, but they do participate. And I believe there might be a coalition of all the pro sports teams in town working together to donate money. They did something like that after Uvalde.
Yeah, I remember, especially because of the Spurs, they received an award for their philanthropy efforts with Uvalde.
The Spurs kind of like free agency, man. They keep everything under wraps. They don't tell you what they're doing. You just know that they are. You know that they are. Justin Guerrero said the NBA just posted about it on Facebook. But I haven't seen a dollar amount, but most of them they're big old checks, and it's needed. And again, here on 94.1 today, we understand what's going on. The real world, we're your distraction from that. If you want the news, you want to hear the latest, by all means, on a day like today, I'll tell you, flip over to KTSA, AM 550 and 107.1 FM. Jack Riccardi, I'm sure, is all over that. If you go to KTSA.com, there is a link there with a list compiled of all the official donation places, links to donate money, items that are needed. All of that info is at KTSA.com. Should probably talk to somebody here about getting that on SASportsStar.com as well. I tried to do that earlier, but Dax has been in a meeting all day. So, but I mean, go to KTSA and understand. Typically we are the distraction from the real world, which is why we're not going to do all the various updates. We understand what's going on, and it's devastating. It's heartbreaking to watch as a parent, as a girl dad. You just feel for those people that are dealing with it, and because it's so close to home. Most of you listening right now either know somebody personally that's going through it, or you know somebody that knows somebody that's going through it, and you've heard those stories. And it's horrific what you're seeing on the news. What I saw on the news earlier today, saw on KBB, because they do, well, their morning show is longer than everybody else's, but then they had news at 11 that I was watching, and was watching a report from Jordan Elder out there and showing all these RVs and where they were and where they are now and the condition they're in. And you understand, man, the power of water, it is incredible. So we'll stay being your distraction. That is for sure.
I do have a dollar amount.
All right.
In NBA, it's a post from the Houston Rockets. It says, in the spirit of the NBA, the NBAPA, Mavericks, Rockets, and Spurs joined together to contribute $2 million in support to those affected in the floods.
So the 3 NBA teams donating $2 million. Good. Do the math. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. July isn't just for baseball. It's also college football conference media days. Start looking ahead to college football. And again, college football is smart. They need to do this now before NFL teams get into training camp so they can maximize their exposure. How good will Texas Tech be? I mean, they spent a lot of money over the weekend getting another portal. They got unlimited funds. As Joey McGuire has said on this show, that Landman oil money is real, and they are spending it. Can it buy them a Big 12 title? Let's talk about it. Coming up here on the Blitz, here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle, the Spurs head to Vegas. We'll try to figure out who Kyle Mangus is going to be playing along with Mohamed Diouf. What do you think?
I think yes. And we'll take a look at the NFL season coming up. It is the Morning Huddle. Don't be late. Our party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Let me tell you about my good friends at Stevens Roofing. Love Stevens Roofing, family-owned company, local company, and they're absolutely the best in the business. And you know as well as I do, we've had a lot of storms lately, haven't we, here in San Antonio? Also in the Hill Country, Fredericksburg, Castroville, they have been all over the place. And if you think your roof has been damaged by some of these storms, the best thing you can do is call Stevens Roofing and Solar at 210-785-0994. They'll send a crew out to inspect your roof, no obligation, and absolutely free. And they'll let you know if anything's wrong with it, any repairs that are needed, or they'll tell you that nothing's wrong and you're good to go. Either way, Stevens Roofing is the number you need to call. Remember it. always for all your roofing needs. 210-785-0994. Stevens Roofing and Solar, the absolute best in the business. 210-785-0994.
Aloha! Dreaming of sandy beaches and ocean breezes? JTV's Tropical Treasure Sweepstakes could make that dream come true. Enter for your chance to win a fabulous Hawaiian getaway for two with luxury accommodations, airfare, and spending cash. Plus, just for entering, get $30 off your next qualifying JTV purchase of at least $99 when you opt in for emails. Don't miss out. Visit jtv.com/sweeps and enter by August 3rd. JTV, where paradise awaits.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
Get a $15 prepaid MasterCard after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You know, football season is right around the corner. You're starting to hear a lot of college football talk. I've seen a lot of people posting their copies of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine coming in the mail today. I'm hoping it's in my mailbox when I get home tonight so I can go through the Bible. You know, that's obviously high school, college, and NFL in Texas. Phil Steele's magazine is out. In fact, Phil will be on the Blitz tomorrow. And tomorrow's also the kickoff of the Big 12 Media Days. You know, I just got an email from the Alamo Bowl talking about their bowl week festivities. It's on the calendar. And, you know, you start looking at what they just sent. You know, they have their pigskin preview luncheon set for Wednesday, August 27th. The game is going to be on Tuesday, December 30th. But you can just feel football season is here. It's right. It's here. I would say right around the corner, but won't be long. Media days, summer practice, and then kickoff. Let's go. It is the Blitz. Ryan Eagle on vacation this week. I'm Jason Minix. James Pledger is producing. You can watch on YouTube. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. You can comment there. And what's fun this time of year is, well, there's hope. Well, I say there's hope for some, and then no hope. But it's always fun to look at the various predictions. I was talking to a guy the other day over at Tri-County Meat Market about the win total for Georgia. Now at Circus Sports, They have Georgia at 9.5. He was looking at 10.5. It's like, dude, I mean, stay away from that one. When you're not going to make any money, but I mean, but when you look at according to Circa Sports, and we're going to be live at Circa in a little more than a month, August 21st and 22nd, the Blitz. Joe and I will be live at Circa Las Vegas doing the show for their Ultimate Contest weekend. We stick around for the weekend. It is incredible. There are discounted rooms available at sasportstar.com, promo code Blitz. Now, the link at sasportstar.com already has the Blitz promo code there. We make life easy for you. But if you go book it at Circa directly, use promo code Blitz, you're going to save 20% on your rooms at Circa and at the D. So I was talking to one guy. He's going to do Circa on Wednesday and Thursday, and then the rooms are a little bit less expensive over at the D for the weekend, and so he's going over there for the weekend so he can stay a little extra time. However you're going to work it, it doesn't matter because the party's over at Circa. You're going to have a great time. And if you're at the D, you get everything at the Circa. You just got to stumble back to your room. I mean, just go down Fremont as opposed to the elevator. Same thing. End result's the same. So join us in Las Vegas. It's a lot of fun. But looking at the win totals from Circa, in the SEC, they have Alabama, Georgia, and Texas at 9.5 wins. 9.5. I think all three of those should be and could be easily 10, 11 win teams. I don't know of anybody that's going to go undefeated. In fact, quite frankly, I wouldn't put my money on anybody going undefeated. And then I look at Phil Steele's magazine and his SEC predictions on the finish, which I find I'm always fascinated by reading these different units and how the predictions are of what's going to happen and when. He likes Georgia. Sorry, Longhorn fans. Me. He likes Georgia. I can't find it. Damn it. He's got Georgia, Texas, Alabama, and Oklahoma at number 4, which I find interesting because that you look at Phil's forecast, I didn't expect much from Oklahoma, especially after last year. And I think a lot of people would be surprised by that. You look at where Phil has, he actually has a handful of teams finishing tied for 4th. Oklahoma, LSU, and Texas A&M. Texas A&M is at 8 wins on Circa for their over-under. And that seems, I mean, I don't know, my expectation this year, although quarterback is still a question mark. I mean, I think Mike Elko's done a hell of a job up there bringing people in at every position except quarterback. I'm surprised with Aggie money that they weren't able to go find a solid quarterback. And again, I don't mind Marcel Reed, but I just don't know if he's that kind of player, if you know what I mean. I just look at that and I'm like, I'm a little surprised by that. What I find funny is you look at the win totals for Circa, and he really seems to like Oklahoma at number 4. Circa's got Oklahoma at 7 wins. Again, different people looking at different things, making their own guesses, their own forecasts, their own predictions. Now, granted, Circa, they're trying to make money. Phil's looking at schedules and rosters and coming up with what he's going to think. But in A&M to finish tied for 4th, or 4th going into the preseason, I think if you're an Aggie fan, you're feeling pretty good about that, although most Aggies I know, like Rob Thompson, that term battered Aggie syndrome is there. But I could see this being a really good season for Texas A&M. Are they good enough to compete for the SEC championship? Probably not. Are they good enough to end up in a great bowl game, potentially a playoff if things break their way? And I don't know, that game Thanksgiving weekend might have a whole lot to do with it. But you look at Arch Manning, what the Longhorns are doing, and again, I know this is pissing off all the Aggie fans, but quite frankly, there's one game on the schedule this year that Texas won't be favored in. That's it, right? Although Arch Manning, according to Phil Steele, second-team preseason SEC team, Garrett Nussmeier at LSU is the first-team quarterback. Maybe he just needs to see it first. I mean, again, everything with Arch Manning is all based on probability and prediction. There's nothing that says, all right, you've done this. You know, like Sam Leavitt, Heisman candidate, Big 12 preseason quarterback. I get that. We've seen him do it. Now, can he do it without Cam Scatterbo? Can he do it without? But, I mean, you know, that is a hell of a quarterback. A lot of people are surprised he actually stayed at Arizona State with all the money that was thrown around. Now, granted, he's not worried about lunch money in Phoenix either. They've taken care of him, but there are other schools that apparently offered him a lot of money, and he decided that is where he was going to stay. But I always like looking at predicted win totals. You know, so Alabama, Georgia, Texas, all at 9.5, according to Circa. LSU 8.5, Ole Miss 8.5, Tennessee 8.5, Auburn 8, A&M 8. Got to decide where I'm going to put money when I get out to Circa.
I'm wondering how Ole Miss rebounds with no Jackson Dart now.
Again, Kiffin's going to be able to go out and buy a quarterback. I mean, that's the thing is you look at it and you sit there and you say, how do they replace teams this year with the portal and the money are able to rebuild on the fly? Which again, why I'm surprised that A&M didn't do more at the quarterback position. I mean, I know they got a defensive-minded head coach, but dude, you got to go find yourself a quarterback.
Or is that just a lot of trust within Elko, that staff, in Marcel Reed and what they saw from him last year and the jumps he's made this offseason?
Well, it can be both, because clearly if they didn't like him and they didn't believe in him, that would have been a priority. Now, what we don't know is how many quarterbacks did they go after that they got turned down. Were they Spurs like with Kevin Durant? We want you, but I'm not getting in a bidding war, and I'm not going to overpay for you, right? Because they have spent money in other areas to bolster position groups to make it tougher on everybody else. So maybe they're thinking he's good enough. If we improve all these other areas, we're going to be fine.
That seems so un-Aggie-like, though.
Well, I mean, look, I don't know in today's world what is what when it comes to spending money. I look at what Texas Tech is doing. I mean, Texas Tech, and if you're Joey McGuire, I kind of feel like you've got 1 year. You're either going to win the Big 12 and get into the playoffs, or you're going to get fired. Unless there is just a rash of key injuries. But they have spent more money on their roster, and they're very open about it. They talk about it. I mean, there has been some great articles written about this Texas Tech offseason. And, what is the Board of Regents president that used to play there that had the oil, sold it for billions? He's spending all the money. Mm-hmm. I mean, they got another one over the weekend, $4 or $5 million for this kid. Right? But with that comes pressures that Joey McGuire has never seen before. I mean, and all these coaches have a lot of pressure to begin with. But when you start putting the amount of money, and it seems like it's a 1-year deal, you got 1 year to go spend all the money you want to go buy yourself a title. They damn near did it in softball. Of all sports, softball. They spent money because they can, and they have it. And they've got a guy willing to write the check, take the risk, which is how he built his business. He took a bunch of risk, and it paid off. Will this pay off in Lubbock? Because Lubbock has done some things this year that are just not typical. And, again, you're getting guys to show up in Lubbock because there's millions of dollars, millions of it. And, again, they're playing by the rules. A lot of people will say it's not fair. They are playing by the rules. But the pressure that is going to be on Joey McGuire to not only win the Big 12, but get into the playoffs and make a run. I mean, if you're the guy, if you're that billionaire guy, obviously he played at Texas Tech. He knows what it's like there. I don't know what he has said, like, I'm buying you a national championship team, or I'm buying what? I don't know what, but the pressure on Joey Maguire to win with the amount of dollars on his roster, and it's very similar to what Sark is dealing with in Austin, but it feels like maybe even more so in Lubbock. Yet Circa has Arizona State, Kansas State, and Texas Tech 8.5 wins each.
I find it so, I don't know where all this money is, because I see the investment like in a professional sports franchise. You're going to pump money into the team, whether it's Walton or whatever. You're hoping you can get it back with wins, World Series, and packed stadiums with that revenue. As a man just donating to his university, I don't know how sustainable that is, because what's the return on investment?
Well, I mean, the guy writing the checks in Lubbock and all these rich guys, they love the university and they want to see the success. The return on investment is seeing the program add and do more. A lot of times it's buildings and your name is on it. It's the ego that goes with it. At some point, if you're not winning titles, these guys are going to get tired of writing checks, which is why this is a one-year deal. When they get to the revenue share or they put a salary cap in, then you got to go back to the old ways with the cash handshakes. But, you know, we're talking about a couple $1,000 as opposed to a couple $1 million with those, although who knows how much money was actually being spent in the old days. So you look at that, but Phil Steele, and we'll talk to Phil about this tomorrow, in the Big 12, he's got Texas Tech tied with Arizona State, Kansas State to finish fourth. Of all people, and he's got 3 teams in his Big 12 conference forecast for 2025. Baylor, Utah, and Iowa State all kind of tied at number 1. Now, I wish you would rank them, but that's not what Phil does. But Texas Tech, for them not to be number 1, if I'm the guy writing the check and I see that, I'm mad at Phil. Like, have you not seen what we've done? Have you not seen? It's not like this magazine got published. It's not the old days where let's publish it in March so it can get out by May. I mean, it's digital these days. And then they print it and they can ship it all in a matter of a couple of days. You know, remember those old school fantasy football magazines back in the day that were printed before free agency or the draft? Right? This is what happens nowadays. So it'd be interesting to talk to Phil and get his thoughts on the roster, because it's one thing to bring in a whole bunch of talent, but have they brought in enough guys to create a really good team? And that's one of the concerns with having all these guys come from all over. They're all all-stars, but can they play together as a team? That's going to be the interesting part. Cannot wait. We are not far away from college football getting here. It is the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. You know, it is a Monday, so coming up, we're going to give away a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom for Mellow Monday. Stick around for your chance to win a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. You know, injuries happen, and when they do, you can skip the ER and get straight to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, strains, conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday. They have on-site x-ray casting and bracing. In fact, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, but best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. So if you're injured, get to Ortho Now. Learn more online at tsaog.com. That's tsaog.com.
Riding 410 with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Hey, Tinsley, why don't we use EasyCater to order food for staff lunches?
Because my 46-page acronym system is so easy. I just have to salad, stay alert to late arriving deliveries, pie, put in expenses, and Google Pie. Go out and get everyone's preferences and allergy information.
That's supposed to be simple?
No, simple is Steve and Irma and Margie prefer lasagna and empanadas.
OMG.
No need to make work life more complicated. Just use EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
Good morning, Doctor. Doctor? Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
In the 80s, everyone was breaking. Break dancing, that is. Lots of moves, spins, flashy colors, and a whole lot of cardboard. Breaking in the 80s was good, but breaking now, not so good. That's why Dave Ramsey recommends Kinetico water softeners in San Antonio and the Hill Country. Seems like many brands of water softeners these days have flashy lights, sounds, and moving parts. Bad news, all those parts are more likely to break and break and break again. With Kinetico water softeners, there are fewer moving parts, and a Kinetico only runs on kinetic energy and is up to 80% more efficient than other competing models. A Kinetico was built to work, not break. That's why a Kinetico is backed by an outstanding 10-year warranty, and right now receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. $400 off with a trade-in of any water softener and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. With a Kinetico, you'll have water soft as parachute pants on the dance floor.
KineticoSA.com.
License number 38961.
In the NFL, with the devastating floods in the Texas Hill Country over the weekend, both the Cowboys and Texans have each donated $500,000 to relief efforts. Speaking of the Cowboys, in our news, All-Pro kick returner Kavonte Turpin was arrested over the weekend and charged with marijuana possession less than 2 ounces and unlawful carrying of a weapon. In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs will finish up California Summer League play tomorrow night at 9 against the Los Angeles Lakers. They went 1-1 over the weekend, finishing things up with a 90-88 win over the Warriors last night. San Antonio also made it official today with the signing of former Celtics big man Luke Cornet, who agreed to a 4-year, $41 million deal at the beginning of free agency. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagle.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagle, he's got the week off. I'm Jason Minix. Monday afternoon, after a long holiday weekend that, quite frankly, wasn't quite the celebration we all thought it was going to be, a devastating weekend here in South Texas. And I know a lot of you have been glued to the news. Me too. And we're the distraction to that news. Sports talk. We're in the toy department. We get that. And it's tough sometimes to come in and do a show with things going on in the real world that has your mind elsewhere. I had a dude send me a note over the weekend on Facebook Messenger saying, I'm glad you guys weren't working Friday because it would have been hard to listen. Would have been hard to do a show that day too. No different than today. You know, I got home from Denver last night, and while in Denver, obviously we were paying attention, but I don't know if I truly understood just how bad it was, because you look at stuff and then you put it away because you're going in living life, which, you know, quite frankly, you see that and you go, that's why you got to go live life. And there's nothing you can do when you're out of town. But you get back, and I started watching news coverage last night, this morning, and at some point had to turn it off because it's just too much. But I understand if you're looking for those kind of updates, man, Jack Riccardi over on KTSA's got you covered. KTSA.com, they have compiled a list of all the official needs as far as donation items that they're looking for, links where you can donate money. Go to KTSA.com, that is there. But for the next couple hours, we're going to help you distract from that. Take your mind away from it if you choose to do that. Some of you might be tuning in just because you need a break from all that devastation. Just mentally, it's exhausting, and I get that. And it's just, one, it's so close to home. So close to home from a geographic standpoint, but also the idea of those kids at summer camp. As a dad, as a girl dad, when I used to drop Erica off at camp, for a parent, you drop your kids off, they're safe, and you get a week free, right? As a kid going to camps, right? How fun were camps? And never in your wildest imagination, your greatest nightmare, this ain't it. I can't imagine, what those families are going through. And because it is close to home, you probably know somebody that is personally dealing with this, or somebody that knows somebody. And you start seeing different stories, seeing on social media, a professor at UTSA, the young daughter of one of the football staff members, the offensive line coach, and I believe OC, his daughter, still missing. And I can't imagine. I can't imagine what he's going through, and then the coaching staff, because I'm sure they all know Kellyanne, right? I mean, that's just, it's just hard. It's tough. It's tough for me to come in and do this show because that's going on. There are guys doing rescue work right now, search, cleanup, all of that stuff right now. And we're going to talk about the Spurs Summer League. We're going to talk about why the Spurs haven't done anything, because that's what we do. We're the distraction for that. Always have been. And having done this for a long time, I understand people, because people have told me. I like the fact that I can turn on and get what I need. Because in reality, sports talk radio, sports in general, are a distraction from real life. You go to work all day, whatever it is you do. Get in your car, you're going home, you're listening to sports talk because that's your hobby. That is what distracts you from your everyday. You go to work, whatever you might be dealing with at home, you put the game on, have a cold beer, watch the game, have some food, some friends over, and that's what we are right now. We're the gathering spot to talk about why the Spurs haven't done anything more than what they have. Who is this kid that's tearing up the Summer League? Could there be a spot for him? Did you hear Kavonte Turpin got arrested? I mean, we'll go over all of that. But in reality, that's what we do. We're the distraction from real life. And we're going to be here today while certainly keeping in mind what has happened in the Texas Hill Country with these devastating floods. And if there's ways you want to help, you can do that. And all those details are on KTSA.com, our sister station. And if you want more news and the latest updates, Jack Riccardi's going to have them for you. Here, why haven't the Spurs done anything more than what they have? I mean, honestly, a press conference today introducing the newest number 7 on the San Antonio Spurs, Luke Cornet, official, because today's the day things can become official. I really thought over the long holiday weekend, was in Denver for a Blues Travelers concert at Red Rocks, that I would hear something. I really did. Maybe I'm just naive. My hope, this all-important offseason that I've been looking forward to, I really thought the Spurs might do something. And they didn't. You see trades happening. Clippers, Jazz, and Heat. They had a hell of a trade today. That Kevin Durant deal ended up being 7 teams, 20 people involved. Spurs signed Luke Cornet. That's official. And you saw, got an email from the Spurs. Complete trade. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's just some draft night thing. Housekeeping. Cash considerations coming to San Antonio. Woo! Yeah. Never get any specifics on cash considerations, though.
To be fair, with the Spurs, you don't get any kind of specifics.
Yeah, but anybody. Do you ever hear what cash considerations actually means? Does that mean I can? Could you imagine telling your landlord, I'll agree to that, pay you in cash considerations? No, it's always, and I'm sure there are some specifics. We just don't get them. But yeah, cash considerations coming here. So somebody post on Twitter, we need a mural for cash considerations. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
In my head, cash considerations are whatever the salary of that second round pick is. Like whatever the value since it's slotted.
I mean, don't try to make sense out of this. I wasn't trying to be real serious. I'm sure that there's real money. I just you know, it's like DeAndre Hopkins got traded for, you know, a six-pack and a bag of chips, right? We know that that's not true, but
the hot dog chips at that.
No, it was a good bag of Doritos.
It was not.
Oh man, I mean, maybe the chili cheese Fritos.
No.
If you don't know what Pledge is referring to, at a 7-Eleven Saturday driving out to Garden of the Gods, I saw a bag of potato chips, hot dog flavored wavy potato chips. And I looked at them and I thought, why the hell not? It's 4th of July weekend. Joey Chestnut is back. How bad can these be?
How bad, Jason?
Don't buy them. Do not. Save yourself a couple of bucks. Do not buy these unless you like to take a spoon, dip it into a jar of relish, and eat it that way. You're not going to like these chips. They were that bad. Now, I ate a couple of them just to make sure I didn't like them. To tell you how bad these are, Rob Thompson. Rob had one potato chip. It was like, nah, dude, I'm good.
That tells me exactly how bad they are.
I mean, honestly, I don't know anybody that can eat one chip, right? Even if they're not good, one chip. Who can eat just one chip? There's a bag of chips in the break room. You grab a handful, or if you take one at a time, you're getting another one, and another one after that, and another one after that, and another. I mean, that's what salty snacks are doing. Crunchy, salty snacks aren't meant for just one. Rob Thompson had one and was like, nah, dude, no. And there was no, other than relish and a hint of mustard, there was no hot dog flavor to this. Couldn't tell if it was a beef hot dog, a pork hot, I don't know. But again, you're not going to like these unless you just like to eat relish.
I had a bag of chips out of the vending machine last week. I was like, this tastes kind of stale. Let me try another one.
Yeah.
And then I turned it around and looked at the date after the second chip.
Oh, you bought them in the vending machine and they were stale? Yeah, if you tape them to the vending machine, he'll give you a free bag.
Too late for that.
Uh-huh. Well, next time you see him. See, Bernard Campbell on YouTube says, who eats hot dog chips anyway? Dude, I just wanted to try them. You're at 7-Eleven. They're right there by the register. Why not? I mean, who doesn't like a good hot dog, right? Now, I've seen some of these other chip flavors, like the Miller Lite flavored Pringles. I haven't tried those. Pringles also has some barbecue flavor that's awful. But it's, 4th of July weekend. I had to try them. I'll save you money. Don't get them. They weren't good.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, they weren't good. Not good at all. No. Save yourself some money. Just save yourself some money. So yeah, I tried them. Bernard. JEE on YouTube says, love Garden of the Gods. The balancing rock is a fun picture moment. It is. We took a group picture there. What, Pledge?
I will say, because I was looking at your pictures from over the weekend, there's a picture in there that perfectly encapsulates Rob.
Okay.
The one with the dinosaurs you took. You know exactly which one I'm talking about, obviously.
So, at the Garden of the Gods Visitor Center, Now, I'll tell you now, we didn't hike anything. But we did take the Jeep tour. They have this 3D picture, this dinosaur. And it says if you stand here and take your picture, it will look 3D. And it does. Now, I get up there and I'm like, my hand. My wife, same thing. Rob gets on all fours and puts his head in the dinosaur's mouth. Now, Rob on all fours looking back at you is a sight. Just saying. Now, we'd done a lot of walking because the concert was at Red Rocks. Now, my legs still hurt. And I'm bathed in biofreeze today. Because Red Rocks, now my seats were on the 4th row. You come in at the top. And walking down was one thing. Walking up to get out is another. Now, at one point I texted Rob because he didn't have the same seats I had. He jumped on the trip later. And Rob's response was, I ain't walking down those steps to get rejected. Because I sent him a picture of my tickets, and I'm like, they did barely checked. You're fine. There's room. Come on down. He saw those steps and said, hell no. No.
That doesn't shock me at all.
Yeah, but I don't blame him. I mean, walking up, and I'm proud of myself for this. I hope my wife's not listening. But it was 100% true. My wife is in far better shape than I am. You know, she's already started the San Antonio half marathon at training. You know, she's the one that's on vacation, although she's way too hungover to do it this weekend. Plan to go for a good run in Denver. We're walking up those steps to get at the end of the show. Now, granted, a lot of beer consumption. But we're walking up those steps in, Denver altitude. My wife, not once but twice, we got to stop and rest. Not me. I was trying to go because I'm like, dude, I'm on a mission to get to the top and then collapse. But to stop and rest. Those stairs, you see pictures from Red Rocks and these overachievers that are running up and down the steps like they're doing stadium stairs. I don't know how the hell you do it.
One misstep and you look like you'll die.
Red Rocks is an incredible venue. Being down close, sit up high, pun intended, because it's a lot easier on your legs. My legs are still sore. My hamstrings and calves are screaming.
And the problem is when you sit, when you're walking up, you're giving your muscles time to rest to get sore in between when you stop it going up.
I have no idea what that means. There was no time. But, I mean, you had to stop and catch your breath. And I don't know if it was the beer, the steps, the altitude, all of the above. But I don't know how many rows there are or how many stairs there are, but the incline is stupid. The whole thing was exhausting. Hell of a concert, but it was nuts. A lot of fun, though.
It looks steep in pictures. I can only imagine what it's like in real life.
Yeah, it was. But man, it was incredible. What an incredible venue! Incredible show. On YouTube, dude says, I bet Wemby just needed to take 2 steps to get up and down. Nah, it would take him at least 14. At least. It was a lot of fun. I highly recommend a trip to Red Rocks. Let's talk some NBA coming up here on the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Guys, if you want to fight back against low energy, you need to do that with TRT at Synergenics and Low T Center. And TRT has never been easier with the new Synergenics Health app. Take the test, get the results, control your treatment from your phone. Book now while the test is still free. If you've been struggling to choose where to go for TRT, look no further than Synergenics and Low T Center. The new Synergenics Health app is a superior innovation in healthcare technology that you won't find anywhere else. And with the app, you can book your appointment, you can view lab results, have face-to-face telehealth visits, get medication reminders, order supplements, pre-check into visits, and so much more. And all you need to do is book an appointment or walk in to any Synergenics or Low T center before 10 a.m. The test is simple, takes about 20 minutes to get your results, and if you qualify, you can start treatment that same day. There's never been a better time to start TRT with Synergenics and Low T offering the test for free. Low T Center there. Other places charge hundreds of dollars just to get started, but for a limited time, the test is still free. Treatment is covered by most major insurance. So download the Synergenics Health app and book that appointment. Learn more at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Transform your water with Connecticut. For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off with a trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. The offer ends soon. Call Connecticut today.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
If you need to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Zip Intro. Post jobs today, talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings. Find your flavor playbook at H-E-B and make every bite count. Because when it's crunch time, there's only one snack you need on your team. Southern Recipe Small Batch. If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text BAIL to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is The Blitz, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Jason Minix. Joe Reinagel, he has the week off. It's his turn to take vacation. Glad to have you along on this Monday afternoon. The NBA is able to make things official today. And I see Chris Bell saying, it makes my heart happy to know Spurs have not done anything and my Houston Rockets have done so much. I realize there's some of you out there that listen. You like that team. Like our producer, James Pledger. As much as I hate to say it, I love what the Rockets have done this offseason. It's been incredible. The Kevin Durant trade made official. Kevin Durant with one of the more, weird goodbye tweets to Phoenix. Hello, Houston. Did AI write that? Or what was it? Do I have... sometimes you don't have to say anything. It didn't work. You could say that. But much love to the people in Phoenix that I might have passed in the hallway and said, what's up? Miss you. Don't know you. But that was strange. But it's official. Turns out it was a 7-team trade. NBA record. 20 dudes involved. I really like what Houston has done. And then today, you wake up early this morning, the Clippers, Jazz, and Heat all agreed to a trade. Nothing major, nothing earth-shaking, but there's movement. And the Spurs, they held a press conference today to introduce Luke Cornet. And he's going to wear jersey number 7. Apparently... And we knew this coming in. If you've seen any interviews that Luke has done, he's a funny dude. He's got a great personality. He apparently said today, and I haven't heard this yet, I've just seen it on Twitter. He apparently said that he chose number 7 because he hopes he's a third of what Tim Duncan was. We all do, Luke. We all do. Personality-wise, you're already there. What people don't sometimes remember is Timmy was like the locker room prankster. Timmy's got a great personality. He just hid it from the media. But that's all the Spurs have done at this point. Outside of the draft, and they added some cash considerations in a deal. I got so excited I saw the email, Spurs complete trade. Oh, here we go. Son of a... is what it is. So we're still waiting for the Spurs to get busy this offseason. They're not done. They're not done. They're not. They can't be.
Well, are you counting the De'Aaron Fox signing coming up?
No, new additions. There'll be new additions.
Oh.
There'll be new additions. Part of it. Now, we do know Chris Paul isn't coming back. Although... Chris Paul said over the weekend at an event that he's got 1 year left, he thinks.
At the most, a year. I just finished my 20th season, which is a blessing in itself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been in the NBA for more than half of my life, which is a blessing. But it's definitely these years you do not get back with your kids, with your family. I'm born and raised in North Carolina, so my granny, who watches every single game that I play every single night, those moments, I just don't get to see her and hug her along with all my uncles and aunts as much as I'd love to.
Now, I realize that pro athletes, especially NBA athletes, make a lot of sacrifices. They're well compensated. But they do make a lot of sacrifices when it comes to family time, real life. Most of you listening do too. Most of you. Jobs are jobs. They are what they are. Not everybody lives close to where all their family is. And play the beginning of it, Pledge.
At the most, a year.
At the most, a year. What does that mean? At the most, a year? That means you might quit halfway through? Christmas break's going to roll around and you're done? I really don't understand where Chris Paul is going with that. Now, it's possible that he just misspoke, that he's going to play 1 more year at least, and maybe 2 years or 3 if somebody's willing to keep giving him money. But it seems like he wants to go wherever he can where he can start. He does not want to come off the bench. But I appreciate Chris Paul coming to San Antonio, the sacrifice, leaving his family in L.A. because he knew he was only going to be here a year. And apparently the Spurs made a promise to him that he was going to be a starter. And so Steph Castle never got the opportunity to take his job. And again, I'm fine with it. I think Chris Paul was great for San Antonio. He is a guy that has chosen a role over a ring. He would much rather start than be a role player and come off the bench for a championship caliber team. Most athletes, most of those guys, especially at this point in their career, they become ring chasers. And they're going to sign to a team that gives them an opportunity to finally get that championship, because that is the only thing missing on Chris Paul's Hall of Fame resume is a title. And I respect, I truly do respect his desire to play and start than chase a ring. But at some point, the skills are going to diminish, and you're not going to be a starter. But you can still play in the NBA, and you can still take your knowledge and help younger players, because that is something that it appears Chris Paul loves to do. But his ego says, I can't be somewhere and not be a starter. And that's pure ego. It truly is pure ego. He had that role in Golden State, and he didn't like it. He has to be a starter. I think he'd rather retire than be a number two, come off the bench. It sounded that way. But also, you don't get those years back. Most people don't have private planes to go get Granny to bring her to dinner. Nobody is forcing you to continue to play. You don't have a contract. I mean, you could announce your retirement and go somewhere with your grandmother if you want, because you're right. You're not going to get those years back. None of us get our years back. And so, I mean, part of me is like, dude, I hear what you're saying, but it's hard for me to feel sorry for you. I mean, right now, you're playing because you choose to. So don't tell me about the sacrifices that you're having to make. And you're taking less money, it appears, like you did in San Antonio, to be a starter on a team as opposed to chasing a ring. If you were to say, I'm going to sign here, I think they've got a chance to win it all, I need to get that ring, and that's your motivation, cool. But your motivation now isn't $50 million a year. You'll play for 10 M's, right? Which, for him, think back to what we thought about a year ago when there were rumors about Chris Paul and the salary. What was it, $11 million? I think I even said, Chris Paul's not getting out of bed for that kind of money. He did. His motivation is different than what most of these guys are. And I totally respect that. Dude wants to continue to play. I get that, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, don't tell me about the sacrifice with your kids and your grandma and all that, because you've chosen this, and you continue to choose that. And it's not like you're going to be on a championship-level team as a starter, so you could announce your retirement, be in the Hall of Fame in a couple of years, and as much as you can, ensure that grandma can go to that ceremony, right? I mean, I don't know. To me, it's just, it was a bizarre way of Chris Paul saying that. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I wonder if he can't get a job as a starter somewhere and he still doesn't have that promise from a team, does he announce his retirement? Or at that point, does he go into, well, let me go chase a ring? Going to be interesting to see what happens with Chris Paul. And again, appreciate what he did here in San Antonio, and he was far better for this team than I thought he was going to be. He really was. We'll see. Let's talk about the Summer League Spurs coming up here on the Blitz, here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. But first, we still got that $50 gift card to give away to Mellow Mushroom. Let's do that right now. Our new Spur is going to wear number 7. Yeah, caller 7. You win yourself a $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom on this Mellow Monday. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Caller 7, you're going to be the winner.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle, the Spurs head to Vegas. We'll try to figure out who Kyle Mangas is going to be playing along with Mohamed Diouf. What do you think?
I think yes. And we'll take a look at the NFL season coming up. It is the Morning Huddle. Don't be late. Our party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Let me tell you about my friends at Connecticut Quality Water Softeners. I love mine. Had it in the house now for some time, but I noticed the difference right away. You know, I was really skeptical. I really thought that, how could it be that much better than anything else I've ever had? But it is, and it is head and shoulders better than anything else I've ever had. Connecticut has been serving San Antonio for over 50 years. All their products are made in America, and what I love about it is you don't plug it in. It runs on that kinetic energy. Whatever it runs on, it provides great soft water 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And right now, for a limited time, they're going to give you a free reverse osmosis drinking station that they will install right at your kitchen sink. It's like bottled water right there at your kitchen sink. Also going to give you $400 of your trade-in of your old water softener. And how about some free money? 0% interest for 12 months. 0% interest for 12 months. It is a great deal. You know it's not going to last too long. Call Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country. 656-PURE, 656-7873, or ConnecticutSA.com. You know the jingle. Sing it with me. It's the last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Terry's Tiny Homes, Terry! Sure, as the only employee of her company, Terry was probably the front runner, but saving money getting personalized discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive, well, that gave Terry the edge. Over Terry.
Terry, Terry.
Keep awkwardly chanting your own name, Terry. You deserve it.
Woo!
Be your own Terry. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Aloha! Dreaming of sandy beaches and ocean breezes? JTV's Tropical Treasure Sweepstakes could make that dream come true. Enter for your chance to win a fabulous Hawaiian getaway for 2 with luxury accommodations, airfare, and spending cash. Plus, just for entering, get $30 off your next qualifying JTV purchase of at least $99 when you opt in for emails. Don't miss out. Visit jtv.com/sweeps and enter by August 3rd. JTV, where paradise awaits.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, Select Quote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call Select Quote at 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080.
Select Quote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Empower. Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Ever find a deal so good you think, should I tell my friends or keep it to myself? That's Kohl's Summer Cyber Deals. Styles for sunny days, home favorites for your space, and more. All at prices you'll love. Plus, earn Kohl's Cash, discover new deals daily, and get free shipping. These deals are too good not to share, once you've stocked up first. Shop Kohl's Summer Cyber Deals now. Select styles, some exclusions apply. Offers end July 10th. See store or kohls.com for details.
You know, we always need to keep up with the where's Wemby. He's back from Japan. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagle is out this week. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along on this Monday afternoon. Old Don Harris from News 4 tweeted out, Wemby is back from Japan. He's in San Antonio today. Saw him working out. He'll visit the Spurs rookies at Las Vegas Summer League later in the week. I'm guessing Don saw Wemby over at the Rock earlier when they introduced Luke Cornet. That would make sense. Wemby's there. Wemby apparently doesn't want to go out to California, but he will go to Vegas. Understand that. One more game for the Spurs Summer Leaguers in California. They get the Lakers in the late game tomorrow. The Spurs Summer Leaguers are 1-1 on the year. They got a win last night over the Golden State Warriors, and with that, Mike Noyes got his first win as a Summer League coach.
Pretty good. I think we could have executed a little bit better. That last three hopefully never happens. Hopefully we press up a little bit, and David knows that, but he was great for us. This was a great team win. I came into the game, we as a staff said we were playing all 15. That's what this is about. We were a team, and it was good. Everyone contributed in their own way, whether it was 2 minutes or 20 minutes.
And again, it's Summer League. I don't know if it matters if you win or lose. It doesn't, unless you're playing because you want to play to win. But he wanted to make sure everybody played. I'm still trying to figure out who the hell is David Jones Garcia. Now, David Jones Garcia has been the Spurs' leading scorer in both games. In last night's game, he had 25 points. Who is this dude? I had to Google him. Now, again, I was in Denver over the weekend. I didn't see the first game. Got home yesterday with enough time to put it on in the fourth quarter, and he didn't play. But I saw the box score, but the article on the first game never even mentions this guy. Not once. Yesterday's article doesn't mention this dude. He's like the chupacabra. Who the hell is he? I mean, I have no idea who this guy is. But in 2 games, he scored a bunch of points. He can fill up. He seems like a bucket getter. I don't know if he has a future with this team or the Austin Spurs. I mean, I had to honestly, when I say me, I asked Pledge, hey, man, do you know this guy? Pledge was like, I don't know, I'll Google him. 6'4", from the Dominican. He's from the DR. Played at a couple of different colleges. Somehow he's a second-year pro. I have no idea. No idea who this guy is. I've never seen him. I couldn't pick him out of a lineup. I've never seen this guy. I've never heard of him. And is there a place for this guy? if you've been watching some of the summer leagues or the G leagues, and you know who this guy is, does he have a fit? I have no idea. None. You got any intel you want to share? At Jason Minix on Twitter, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. If you're watching on YouTube, you can comment there. I mean, and honestly, and with this job, we'll never tell them you don't know. I have no idea. You'll have other people that have, all of a sudden they're experts on, David Jones Garcia. Never heard of the guy. Never. No idea. But, dude, to go into Summer League and score that many points in 2 games, there's something there. There is a reason he's on a Summer League roster. And if he wasn't with San Antonio, he'd be somewhere. Because he's at the level where maybe there's something there. Maybe. But you remember Sam Hurd, Mr. August? The guy was always phenomenal in the preseason for the Cowboys. He's a preseason legend. Maybe that's all this guy is. Maybe. I mean, he ain't going to the Hall of Fame. Is there a Summer League Hall of Fame? No, I'm kidding. But honestly, I'm looking forward to watching tomorrow to be able to see this guy. Because I didn't see him in the little bit of the first game or the second game, but it was the first one I watched, and I missed the other one. But I know there's some of you out there that have watched every bit of this guy. And maybe there is something there. I'm looking at the progress that last year's second-round pick, Harrison Ingram, has made. And, I mean, he's played well. And what I appreciate about Harrison Ingram now in his second year, and again, second-round pick from a year ago, and there's not many second-round picks that make it in the NBA. I mean, it's so weird. The Spurs have a gazillion second-round picks, and what's the value, right? We'll all come up with Manu, Joker. There are second-round guys that have made it, but the percentage is not high. Harrison Ingram has certainly developed over the last year. In fact, he was asked after the game last night to compare where he is this year versus last year.
I think just my composure, and the game has slowed down so much. Yeah. Like today I was drawing fouls that I just wouldn't have even seen last year, and really my three-point shot, I feel a lot more confident shooting threes off the dribble, off the bounce, and it really just my knowledge of the game. Playing in Austin a lot this year, got the ball a lot, and then going back and forth. I got to learn from guys like HB, all the vets we had in our team, and, seeing how they work out, seeing how they train. I feel like my game has just grown so much since college.
Well, and again, I mean, that's what you want. I mean, Coach Mike Noyes, who's the Summer League coach for the Spurs, he just talked about how Harrison Ingram is learning how to impact the roster.
Yeah, he's a good facilitator for us, and he knows what he has to do to impact NBA winning. And so that's one of the tougher parts of Summer League is guys are in a role that is not exactly the role that's going to make them successful in the NBA, right? There's only one ball, and a lot of these guys, they may be the best creator for this team, but that might not be what gets them minutes on a team where we do have De'Aaron, we have Victor, we have Steph, and the list goes on, right? Devin, Kelda, everyone. So Harrison's done a great job buying in. I think our team has a good understanding of what outputs we want to produce on every possession. And so he went ISO a few times today, but I thought he had some good pull-behind passes, some good kickouts, settled in as the game went on. And hopefully he'll be good to play both halves on Tuesday. Yep.
Yeah, hopefully you get both halves. I mean, that's what you're looking for. And, again, it's Summer League. I saw a lot of you on social media yesterday complaining that Carter Bryant didn't play. It's Summer League. But the narrative of only the Spurs would load manage in the Summer League. Stop. Although Mike Noyes did give an update on Carter Bryant.
Yeah, he's fine. As we know, he left the second quarter yesterday with an ankle injury, and it was super minor. So this was more precautionary than anything. Carter wanted to play. This was on us. We held him out. And so we're hoping to go into next game pretty healthy. I think we're getting to a full roster. Hopefully Riley makes a return, and then ideally Dylan's shortly behind him.
And we do need to see Riley Minix out there. I love watching the games and hearing them talk about Minix. He just needs to get that other end. But in reality, I mean, Carter Bryant, his first game was what it was, right? And again, Twitter calls him a bust. Wemby didn't have a good first summer league game. Get to Vegas, see what happens. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Casey, you're on the Blitz. What's up, man?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I kind of wanted just to talk about Carter Bryant. I've been hearing discussion that, the Spurs will do what they normally do and, send these first-round picks to the G League. For example, I believe Lonnie Walker did a similar thing, which kind of worries me. I don't want his potential to go to waste, but I think it's good because, I would much rather him get more minutes on the G League and, adapt there than play 4 minutes in the NBA. Because I think
Casey, two quick things because you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. One, who are you having discussions with about him going to the G League? Your buddies at the bar or the barbershop?
It's a big discussion on subreddit. If you're on the San Antonio page, it's a lot of discussion.
All right. I mean, I could see that. I mean, when you look at, I was surprised, Casey, they drafted him. I was surprised they drafted anybody with that pick. I thought they would move it because you wonder where is he going to fit. But
I mean, Joe, one thing too. Also, how many points is this guy averaging in Arizona? Sorry, Jason. I'm sorry. So how many points
on
was he averaging in Arizona?
He didn't score a lot of points, but he's more of a defensive guy.
Exactly. Yes.
But again, are you worried that he gets sent to the G League because you're reading it on the Reddit, which is just, again, a lot of informed fans, don't get me wrong, but people that are worried about stuff that are out of their control with no real knowledge of the situation. They're all speculating because none of us really know what the Spurs' plan is for him. Again, I'm surprised they took anybody with that pick, but they chose him for a reason. But at the same time, like you said, if he goes to the G League to get minutes, I have no problem with that if there's not a spot for him on the NBA roster. I tell that to dads all the time that will call me and bitch about high school football players, right? Kid's a sophomore and they want him to play on the JV, but I promise you my kid's good, but the coach doesn't like him, so they're not going to play him. Your kid's better off starting on the JV than backing up on the varsity, especially as a sophomore. Your kid's a senior and still a backup, I'm pretty sure the coach doesn't have him as a backup because the coach doesn't like you. I mean, it's funny how that works, but for the most part, playing time is going to get you better. And you're seeing it. Harrison Ingram, a second-round pick last year. Now, granted, not a lottery pick, not a first-round pick, but nothing wrong with the G League if there's not a spot for him on the Spurs' actual NBA roster. Again, I look at this Spurs draft, and I got it all wrong. My prediction, they were going to take Harper at number 2, but I thought they'd move that pick at 14. I did not think they would take anybody there. Package it and get something in return. Could have been cash considerations. I couldn't believe they actually picked 2 dudes on that night. But I can tell you, and I watch zero University of Arizona basketball. But a good friend of mine texted me right away talking about that's a UA alum that lives in Phoenix, talking about what a great pick that is and that he's perfect for the San Antonio Spurs. And you watch his first game and, he's a bust and all that kind of stuff. Stop. It's stop. I mean, it's one summer league game. Your first game as a pro. Obviously, you're going to be a little bit nervous. Nothing wrong with that. Kind of surprised. But also, was he there to work on defense or was he there to score? And that's the thing with summer league. You get guys that are in different roles, different positions, or instructions to go work on things that are very specific. Not necessarily go out there and just play. We want you to do this, that, and the other. And we don't know what those are. Way too early to make any kind of determination on whether he's destined for the G League and that's it. Is he a bust? It's too early for that. It is. And I didn't see the first game. so I can't really comment on it. I read about it. I've seen comments on social media, which take with very big grains of salt, because he's, it's Wemby. I mean, if we're going to judge everybody on their first summer league game, I mean, come on. Hey, Josh, you're on the Blitz. What's going on, man?
Hey, Jason. Yeah, on this Carter Bryant thing, I came in hard when they drafted him, and I don't like the pick just because I don't think the Spurs can develop him. But I think if the Spurs really want to develop him, the guy wants to play defense, throw him out there game one. Put him on the top scorer. Let's see what the kid got. The kid's crazy athletic, and if he can play defensively, lock some type of deep offensive player down, affect their scoring average, I mean, it's going to be the best for him. I think he needs to develop on the court. I don't care if he doesn't make a point. It was kind of with the same thing with Bruce Bowen.
Yep.
If he's going to be the next Bruce Bowen, I didn't care if Bruce Bowen had 10, 3, 6 points. As long as when he was guarding Kobe or he was guarding Allen Iverson or whoever he was guarding, as long as that person was shooting, had a lower points per game when they played the Spurs, that was all that mattered. So if this kid's going to do that, let's put him out there. He's a good kid. Give him a shot. You draft him in the first round. I'm tired of sitting here and sucking and losing. Let's actually have a good, successful season. Let's put all the chips on the table and let's say, hey, we ran it out there. I mean, even put Cornet out there and do something with it. I mean, he's getting $41 million. Good God.
Wow.
Can't believe he got that contract.
It's over 4 years, and did you see the details of his contract? I mean, again, I look at the Cornet deal is actually crazy good for San Antonio, because the breakdown, he's got a partial guarantee in year 3. In year 4 is not guaranteed at all. So he's going to make $11 million this year to be the backup center, $10.45 million next year, and then in the third year, he's got a $9.9 million salary, but only $2.5 is guaranteed. And in the fourth year, $9.3 million, but it is not guaranteed. So when you look at the contract that Luke Cornet signed, hats off to Brian Wright, because year 3 of his deal, partially guaranteed, that will be year 1 of Wemby's extension. Year 4 of this Cornet deal, non-guaranteed, that will be the first year of the Steph Castle extension. To me, this looks like brilliant work by Brian Wright. Give him credit. I mean, and granted, NBA dollars today, 4 years, $41 million. If I thought that was a hell of a deal. Then I see the breakdown. It's even better than I thought it was going to be. And again, it's going down as this dude is getting older. Nothing worse than when you see a contract for an older player rise every year when you know the skill is going to diminish every year. I think this contract is great for the San Antonio Spurs. And again, Josh, I agreed with everything you said except for the Spurs can't develop. They're pretty good at that. I mean, I know that Chip England is gone, but they're still pretty good at developing. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Let's talk some Cowboys football coming up. Some interesting things about the Cowboys going on. Win-loss totals and issues. Just how bad is their offensive line? We'll dive into that coming up here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
If you've been injured in an accident, you know there's no shortage of attorneys who want your business. But when it comes to results, the numbers speak for themselves. Thomas J. Henry secured over $1 billion for clients in the past 4 years. We've successfully represented thousands of injured Texans, earning over 12,000 five-star reviews on Google. So, who is the right attorney for you? Just look at the numbers. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. San Antonio, Texas.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You know the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Aleve can help you deal with pain less throughout your day. Whether it's a long day on your feet, a demanding workout, or everyday aches and pains, you need relief that can keep up when pain persists. Aleve is here for you with longer-lasting body pain relief compared to leading OTC-branded pain relievers. With just one pill, Aleve lasts up to 12 hours. Don't let those aches hold you back from doing what's important to you. Use as directed.
In the NFL, with the devastating floods in the Texas Hill Country over the weekend, both the Cowboys and Texans have each donated $500,000 to relief efforts. Speaking of the Cowboys, All-Pro kick returner Kavonte Turpin was arrested over the weekend and released on bond. He is facing misdemeanor charges of possessing marijuana less than 2 ounces and unlawful carrying of a weapon. In Major League Baseball, the All-Star reserves and pitchers were announced as Astros shortstop Jeremy Pena, starting pitcher Hunter Brown, and closer Josh Hader all made the roster, while the Rangers' only selection was starting pitcher Jacob deGrom. I'm James Pledger for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center brought to you by Synergenics. Book your appointment at fixmylowt.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know, it's a tough Monday. It really is, for a variety of reasons. And you look on social media and you get another update and your heart sinks. It's that way for me, probably for you. It just is. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagel on vacation this week. I'm Jason Minix. On a Monday afternoon that, quite honestly, difficult to come in and do a show today because my social media normally is all sports and then some random stuff. And like everybody else with the flooding, the devastating flooding over the weekend, just new updates. And it's just heartbreaking to think about what so many of our neighbors are going through, because it happened in our backyard. It's right here. And you think about the flooding, the death toll. Chances are you know somebody that is dealing with tragedy, or you know somebody that directly knows somebody. And it's tough as a parent, as a girl dad, to drop your kiddo off at camp, which is such a great time in a child's life, and for the parents too. I know when we used to drop Eric off at camp, that was like, all right, we got a week. The kids love camp, all the fun. If you went to camps, growing up here, I can't imagine most people didn't go to some sort of summer camp, or you've dropped your kids off at camp, and the last thing you thought you would deal with is something like this. I saw a post from April Lancier. I've never been to Camp Mystic. Erica used to go to T-Bar M up in New Braunfels when she was little. And I saw April Lancier post, if you saw those cabins where they were located, you would never think flooding. And when I've seen photos of it, I mean, I think April's 100% spot on with that. She used to go to Camp Mystic when she was little. It's tough. I just saw just opened up on social media, and a few minutes ago, about 15 minutes ago, Pat Green posted over the weekend, my family, like many others, suffered a heartbreaking and deeply personal loss. I don't know the details, but I've known Pat for a long time, and I can't imagine what he's going through. I have not seen an update on Coach Lytle over at Trinity University. His daughter, Kellyanne, last I saw earlier today, was one that was still missing. I can't imagine what he is going through. For a lot of the people, you want to help when you feel helpless. And the way you can help is to donate, whether it's money, because there's going to be a lot of that needed, supplies, clothes. Unfortunately, we've gone through enough floods here. We know what's needed. And there is a link on our sister station, ktsa.com. Go to that website. There is a list that's been compiled of how to register to volunteer, phone numbers you can call if you want to go volunteer and help, and links on the fastest way to give a cash donation, although be through credit cards, but you know what I mean. What they don't want you to do up there is just show up. There needs to be some organization to it. And I know a lot of people just, getting in my car and I'm going up there to help. There needs to be some organization to that. So, but by all means, if you want to help, they need the help. It just has to be done the right way. If you want to donate items, because those are going to be so much in need, donation places, people that are collecting, but the items that are needed, there is a full list at ktsa.com. And again, it's a sports talk show. We're the escape from reality. We've always done the show that way, and I can tell you as a host, it's hard to come in and try to do what we normally do, but this is what we do. We're the escape from reality 365 days a year. You go to work, the crap you deal with at work, whatever you might have going on at home, sports is your escape. I get that. Whether you're going home to watch the game or calling in here to talk about, is this guy going to be a bust, or we can't develop him, or this guy's making too much money. That's what we do to escape our real life. And that's what we're going to continue to do here today, because this is what we do. If you want to get the latest news updates, by all means, 550 KTSA or 107.1 FM. So 508, Joe Pags is on. Those details are there, ktsa.com. And some of you might not normally listen to this show, but you've seen and heard enough about the news. You need to escape that. I was that way this morning. I got home from Denver last night and watched news last night and got up this morning, and I was watching news, and 11 put it on KBB, and I saw this report that Jordan Elder was doing about all these RVs and how far they. And man, I started watching more tennis. I've watched more tennis today than I normally would because I couldn't handle watching anymore. And I get that. And everybody will process all of this differently. Because, and I say all this because some of you are like, how do you do a show with all this going on? What's the update? We're the escape of that. And we do this knowing what's going on just down the road and what some of our friends and neighbors are dealing with. And we'll get through it. That's what we do. You look at everything that's going on, and sports is always the escape from reality, and it's always what seems to be bringing people back together, sports and music. And I've seen various local artists planning some sort of benefit show. Saw Rich O'Toole, he's doing one tomorrow night. Robert Earl Keane, who's from that area, he's already announced he's donating all his merch sales to flood relief, and you just know there's going to be something big. And, I say especially now, but when somebody in the Texas country music family like a Pat Green is dealing with it, you know that they're all going to come together, we're all going to have a good time, but more importantly, raise a whole bunch of money to help these families in these communities that are certainly going to need it. Let's talk. It's always tough, isn't it? It is. I got to be honest. It's tough because now I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my friend Pat, right? When it hits close to home, when it hits your friends, and when you know somebody, somebody that knows somebody, it just, the whole reality. It's one thing to watch it on the news and say, man, I've been to that park. A friend of mine, John, sent me a picture from last year when he was at the of all people, Robert Earl King concert that was set up under the bridge that was now covered with, with water. It's just, when it's so recognizable like that, it's just tough.
Well, hell, the amount of people that reached out to me this weekend knowing where my mom lives, you being one of them, making sure everything was okay because Canyon Lake, downstream flooding.
Absolutely. Well, and, I just got texted a little while ago from a friend wanting to know if my family's all right up in Killeen because the Lampasas River, the river I grew up playing in, is flooding. My mom's okay. My brother that lives in Killeen, and there's a lot of flooding there, talked to him earlier. He's kind of trapped. He's got a big, ditch type thing out his backyard fence, and then, this drainage ditch. He said it was, up near the top but never breached, but the road into his neighborhood is flooded, so he can't get out if he tried. That's, so yeah, we're all dealing with this in some sort of different way. And, but like I said, escape from reality. We'll go from there and, try to, give you that escape, except James is saying, talk to John, who's on line one. Hey, John, you're on the Blitz. What's going on, man?
I just wanted to say I applaud you for going through with it and doing it, because it is difficult, quite honestly. I think for the vast majority of us that just live in the area, especially those of us that are parents. So I just want to say you're doing a good job. Keep it up. I'll pray for you also, and just know that you are appreciated for what you're doing, man. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it, John. And again, there's some people that will say, well, how do you do that? It ain't easy, but we try to always be honest. That's the one thing that we've always done on this show. We're always honest. We know we're in the toy department. We're the escape from reality, which is why, unless it directly affects sports, we never talk politics. We don't. There's other places for all that. We're the safe place. We're the fun department. And it's tough to be in the fun department on a day like today. It truly is. But this is what we do, and we will continue to do that. And sports is that great thing that, like I said, in the grand scheme of things, you look at what's going on, how much does it really matter? but we know that it does because it's people's escape from whatever reality you're in, and your passion is behind it. You know, Dodger fans are mad this week, you know, bringing up trash cans again because the Astros kicked their ass. That's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun. You know, how good are the Cowboys going to be? You know, traveling this weekend. People, where are you from? Texas. They want to talk Cowboys, although we did have a guy stop us that wanted to talk Spurs. I was wearing a Spurs T-shirt. You never know. And, of course, you know, sports is a great way to make some extra cash if you're good at picking stuff. And you could do that. With baseball going on right now, you can make all your picks on Underdog, a leading place to make all your sports picks, one of the best sports apps out there. Over 100,000 five-star reviews. It's baseball time. Make your picks on Underdog. And again, you're picking higher or lower on different stats. Home runs, strikeouts, total bases, that sort of thing. Create your entry, and you can play for as little as $1 there on Underdog. It's a ton of fun to play. Love playing, love winning on Underdog. So download the Underdog app. Sign up now with promo code STAR to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, promo code STAR at Underdog. Must be 18 plus and present in Texas. Terms apply. See underdogfantasy.com/web/deposit-match-terms. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
The Morning Huddle.
He got in a crash at about 3:45 p.m. Officers arrived. They found an unresponsive person inside a white GMC Yukon. The driver suddenly regained consciousness and tried to flee the scene, but an officer had entered the vehicle to turn it off and render aid to the driver. So there was a cop in the car with him when he's like,
"That'd be me."
Damn it. He woke up and he's like, "Oh man, I gotta get out of here."
Dude, I'm trying to help you, brother. I thought you would slow down.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's Jason and Joe from the Blitz. Join us at Circa Las Vegas in August for the Circa Sports Ultimate Contest Weekend.
The Blitz will be live at Circa August 21st and 22nd, and then we're staying for the weekend. Come to Vegas with us for the Ultimate Contest Weekend.
Circa Survivor and Circa Million are back. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. So join the Blitz at Circa Las Vegas.
Details and discounted rooms with promo code BLITZ available online at sasportstar.com.
4th of July savings are here at the Home Depot, so it's time to get your grilling on. Pick up the Traeger Pro Series 22 pellet grill and smoker, now on special buy for $389, was $549. Smoke a rack of ribs or bake an apple pie, this grill is versatile enough to do it all. This summer, no matter how you like your steaks, your barbecues are guaranteed to be well done. Celebrate 4th of July with fast free delivery on select grills right now at the Home Depot, subject to availability.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get one free set of Brake Best brake pads when you buy 2 brake rotors. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. And that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Transform your water with Connecticut. For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off with a trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. The offer ends soon. Call Connecticut today.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson. I'm a personal injury attorney, and since 1994, I've been helping people and their families seriously injured or killed by negligent drivers. My website is alawyer4us.com. I use that phrase because I know that there's no way a regular San Antonian can possibly beat a billion-dollar insurance company alone. You will need an experienced attorney to stand up for you and get what you and your family deserve. This month, my father will retire after 50 years of practicing law, doing what he taught me to do, help people in need. Stand up for the people that cannot. Use the skills you have to help the people in your community when and where you can. When an insured driver seriously injures someone, a billion-dollar insurance company uses everything it can to pay as little as possible. Every insurance company you have heard of has a very large staff of attorneys already working against you. If you or a family member has been seriously injured because of a negligent driver, call me, Jason Thompson, as soon as you can after a collision. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or check out my website, alawyer4us.com.
What is your biggest question, position group-wise, for the Dallas Cowboys as we get set to head out to training camp? 20 days from today, we'll be in Oxnard, California for our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage. You think about the Cowboys and their question marks, and I think they have had a really good offseason. But will it play out and turn into wins for the Cowboys? That's the big question. But there's always some position groups that make you scratch your head a little bit. What are those for you? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. It's the Blitz. Joe Reinagle, he's on vacation this week. I'm Jason Minix. Get me on Twitter at Jason Minix. If you're watching on YouTube, you can always comment there. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. You look at the Cowboys, and I do think they have had a nice offseason. Pickens being the best addition because you've got now two really good wide receivers. You've got a tight end in Jake Ferguson that you anticipate will rebound back to being the stud that you expect him to be after an off year last year. A healthy Dak Prescott. Yet, depending on where you look, the Cowboys' season win total on various gambling sites are 7.5 or 8.5. I haven't seen more than 8.5, and I haven't seen less than 7.5 on all the different sites. And I look at that and I think, man, that's easy money. But then I wonder, is that a sucker's bet? Because what does Vegas know? Now, the running back position to me is still the biggest question mark. They addressed it. 2 new running backs, but both have question marks. They didn't bring in what you would call a bell cow running back. Now, it's possible that Javonte Williams can be healthy now and be the back everybody thought he was going to be. That's what the Cowboys are banking on. They drafted a Jaden Blue. But Jaden Blue isn't a bell cow running back, more of a change of pace, and the dude's going to have to hang on to the football. Fumbling problems were an issue at the University of Texas. Every Longhorn fan knows that. But there's excitement with Jaden Blue. Miles Sanders, okay. What does he have left? I mean, so there's question marks. They drafted a guy. I don't even know if that dude who was in the 7th round or whatever, he might not even make the team. Might be a practice squad guy. For whatever reason, Malik Davis is still around. And yes, they still have Deuce Vaughn. But we all know that you're not going to rely on him. So to me, the running back, Phil Moff is his name. Thanks, Pledge. Unless he makes the team, I don't need to know it. The idea of the running game is there. But are there bigger issues that could impact negatively the running game? And is that the offensive line? Found it very interesting today because offensive line is one area I have no idea how to tell if an offensive lineman is really good or really bad, other than is he helping up the quarterback. Now, you can all tell an offensive line that sucks, an offensive lineman that sucks, gazillion holding penalties, getting beat all the time. But when you're trying to grade a unit, an offensive line unit, I really don't know how those guys do it. You know, when you're trying to figure out a good offensive lineman compared to a great offensive lineman, that's just a skill set I don't have, and most people don't. So when Pro Football Focus puts out a list where they grade on all the different things they are trained to look at, you pay attention to that. And Pro Football Focus today put out a list grading and ranking all the offensive lines. And the Dallas Cowboys offensive line comes in at number 23. 23. Now, I'm looking at that. Now, I don't know how to grade offensive line. I don't know how to grade an offensive line. But I'd have had them somewhere, I don't know, 12, 14, 15, somewhere in there, middle of the pack. They got 3 first-round draft picks on that offensive line. Granted, they're young. Hall of Famer Zach Martin retired. You got to replace him. What did you do? You drafted his replacement from Alabama, Tyler Booker, in the first round. Tyler Guyton last year, he was awful. I mean, you can't sugarcoat what Tyler Guyton was in his rookie year. First-round player, he wasn't good. We talked to Tyler Guyton here on the Blitz not long ago, and he owned it. Yeah, dude, I suck last year. Paraphrasing what he said. But he knows what he has to work on. Tyron Smith is working a lot with him to get him better. But, dude, you were taken in the first round. I expect big things from you. Cooper Beebe, a high draft pick, going into his second year. Thought he had a pretty good rookie year. So I'm honestly a little surprised to see that the Dallas Cowboys offensive line is ranked 23. They're inexperienced, but there's one thing that you can give the Cowboys credit for, and that's generally having a damn good offensive line. I mean, there's been more than once in the last 20 years stretches where they might have had the best offensive line in football. And if you've got a really good offensive line, you should be able to run the ball better. Do you think Emmitt Smith's the all-time leading rusher behind a crap offensive line? No. Yeah, Emmitt had a great offensive line. Think about some of the offensive lines that DeMarco Murray or Ezekiel Elliott ran behind. I mean, remember the glory days with Tyron Smith and Travis Frederick and Zach Martin? 3 first-round picks, I expect more. And I'm surprised Pro Football Focus isn't, and I don't know how they grade, looking at the potential. And granted, if you're taking grades from last year and you add in what Tyler Guyton did or didn't do, then, that's gonna bring your average down. It's like if you're an A student and really screw up one class, it messes up your GPA. But also, if the offensive line is truly the 23rd best, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what receivers Dak Prescott has, because he won't be back there long enough to throw the ball. And let's face it, at this point, I'm not going to count much on Dak's mobility. I mean, can he escape? Yes. Escapability and mobility are 2 different things. But will he have time to get the ball downfield, or is it going to be a bunch of dump-off passes to Jake Ferguson? To me, that's, again, my concern on the offensive side is the running back room. But now I'm looking at the offensive line going, well, I know there's questions there, but I expect them to be better. I do expect the offensive line to be better than it was last year. Now, it might take him a couple of games, but I really love the Booker pick. I expect Guyton to make a huge jump, very much like what we saw from Terrence Steele. Remember when Terrence Steele was an undrafted rookie out of Texas Tech? He was awful. In that offseason, they kept talking about how much improved he was. And he came back that next year, and he was great. And he got paid. Then he got hurt. And then he was bad. Because that first year after a major knee injury like that, most guys aren't as good. So if Terrence Steele can get back to the level of play that got him that big contract, and Tyler Guyton makes the expected gains, that offensive line might actually be in pretty good shape. But as we sit here on the 7th day of July, Pro Football Focus gives them a bad grade. Which, again, if they suck running backs, it isn't going to matter. Barry Sanders is the only running back out there that has been able to get a whole bunch of yards with a bad offensive line. But I wonder if that is why so many of the books out there are looking at 7.5, 8.5 wins. Now, realistically, you still got Philadelphia. You got Washington expected to maintain. So they're the third best team in the NFC East. They are. 10 wins doesn't get you into the playoffs, but it covers 7.5 if you take the over. For the record, Houston, the Texans, they have the 32nd ranked offensive line according to Pro Football Focus. How many teams are in the NFL? 32. They have the worst offensive line in football. Now, I look at what Houston did this offseason, and again, I don't know how to grade offensive lines, but they got rid of some really bad players. One really good one in Laramie Tunsil, who just wasn't good in Houston. And I kind of like the replacements that they made. And I look at that, I think about the moves that they made, and think there's no way that Houston has the worst offensive line in the NFL. Again, I don't know how PFF comes up with this stuff, but I mean, there's no way that I would have the Houston Texans as the worst offensive line in football, but they do. On defensive side, I would expect the Cowboys, even though they have a good pass rush, they were really bad at stopping the run last year. Their defensive line ranked number 12. That surprises me too. Like, I would have thought these might have been flipped, because potentially that defensive line could be better if healthy. Remember last year they dealt with a ton of injuries. And Zimmer, but a ton of injuries. And so you were deep in their depth chart, especially in that DL unit. Most aren't going to have success when you're on your 5th and 6th string guys. And that's what the Cowboys were. Reasons or excuses, but that's reality. They still have a good pass rush. So if they can somewhat stop the run this year, and whatever Matt Eberflus is able to get out of this defense, I expect them to be better. But I'm surprised in July to see that defensive line unit ranked at number 12. And for the record, the Houston Texans ranked 4th with their defensive line. And you look at any football team, at any level, generally you build in the trenches and you go from there. And I find it kind of comical that the two teams from the state of Texas in the NFL are at opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to how good their offensive line is versus their defensive line, when every GM and every coach out there tells you they want to build from the inside out, starting with the offensive line, or starting with line play, offense or defense. Find it fascinating. Something for us to watch when we get out to Oxnard is just how quickly can that young offensive line develop. That to me is going to be such a huge key. The Cowboys, feeling like the old days, make the news because of a police blotter report. Kavonte Turpin arrested over the weekend. Now, because it's Kavonte Turpin and his history, feels like a bigger deal than if it were just a different player that got arrested, got stopped going 97 in a 70. He wasn't going 97 in a 30 or 40. He was going 97 in a 70 in his 2022 Dodge. But during the traffic stop, According to the Allen Police Department, he had a 9mm in plain view in the back. Dumb. And because of that, they were able to search his car, and they found less than 2 ounces of weed in the console. So he gets arrested. He's already out on bail. Now, typically speaking, dumb, yes. Major, no. Except it's Kavonte Turpin. In his history, those red flags are there. Kind of felt like he was taking full advantage of his second chance. Now, I didn't realize until I read a Matt Engel article in the Fort Worth Star-Telegram that TCU doesn't even claim Kavonte Turpin. And their list of former frogs that are in the NFL, they don't list them. And things got so bad for Kavonte Turpin at TCU, they kicked him off the team. They want nothing to do with him. And his route to the NFL was a strange one because of his off-the-field issues, mainly domestic violence. I mean, dude played in Europe, played in the USFL, and got his opportunity with the Cowboys. And he's been good for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, he's been great in the return game. Bit of a gadget guy on offense. But he has carved out a niche with the Cowboys. I remember when he showed up in Oxnard at training camp. We didn't even know if he was going to make the team. They were giving him a look-see. And why not? Got him cheap, giving him a second chance, see if he's been able to turn his life around. And by all accounts, I have not heard any negative story about Kavonte Turpin since he's been in the NFL. Didn't hear anything bad about him when he was in the USFL. Seemed like he had learned his lessons and was getting a second chance. Now, a little bit of weed and going fast with the gun, most of these players, you say, all right, Cowboys have yet to comment. I'm sure they'll say they're going to handle things internally, whatever that means. But when you look at a guy with a history of Kavonte Turpin, do you need to take this a little bit more serious? Well, how will the NFL handle this with the personal player conduct policy that they have? Do they take into account the issues he had while he was in college, or do they just look at it like it's in the NFL? Now, granted, weed is still illegal in the state of Texas, but under 2 ounces, and the cops would never have found it if he didn't have a gun that was in plain view, which, again, dumb. But most of the time when you get arrested, it's for dumb stuff. I don't know what to think of this Kavonte Turpin. I'm curious to see if the Cowboys really do anything or the NFL. But again, because of his past, you do look at it a little bit differently. Because did he change the circle that he was running with? Because that was something that he needed to do when he was in college. Or red flags were there and it was just a matter of time. But the Cowboys just paid the guy. He just got his big contract. So they had to feel pretty good that he was doing things all the right way. We'll see. Cowboys offseason. They make the news because of the police blotter. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. If you're having any issues at your house with your plumbing, your AC, you know there is one company to call, and that is Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. 210-651-5899. 651-5899. At Quartermoon, they are full service. Big job, small job, residential, and commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions, and they have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quartermoon, they are green certified. So if it's a plumbing issue, if it's an AC issue, call Quartermoon. 210-651-5899. 651-5899 or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle, the Spurs head to Vegas. We'll try to figure out who Kyle Mangas is going to be playing along with Muhammad Diouf. What do you think?
I think yes. And we'll take a look at the NFL season coming up. It is the Morning Huddle. Don't be late. Our party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney and have been representing people injured in auto and commercial truck collisions right here in San Antonio, my hometown, since 1994. Getting into a collision can be a life-altering event. Your health and recovery is the only thing that really matters, and anyone that's ever been injured in a traffic collision will tell you that. How do you get the insurance company to pay? Simple. Call me. As your attorney, my job is to get you through this. The decisions you make immediately after a collision are the most important decisions you can make. If you call me as soon as you can after a collision, I will help you make the right decisions for you and your family. Remember, I do not charge for a consultation. Growing up on the southwest side of San Antonio, when Loop 410 was the edge of town, I know how overwhelming it could be to face a giant insurance company all on your own. Just keep it simple. Call me. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 900-0400. Or go to my website at lawyerforus.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone, now through July 28th. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on home and auto insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check your house sitter has the new code first before leaving for vacation.
System lockout.
But that's the code.
Contacting authority.
I'm out of here.
Oh, seriously, the car too?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a home and auto bundle that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Potential savings vary. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
When your business needs an electrician, for over 35 years, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio. Powered by relationships with dedicated estimators who analyze the issue, research cost-effective solutions, and clearly communicate the options without charging you a dime. A proven process that allows you to continue focusing on your unique purpose. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or hill-electric.com.
Hormones can affect everything. Bad skin, bad hair, low energy, poor sleep, brain fogginess, libido, and weight gain. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we take a functional approach to your hormone problems. Eating right and exercise will not be beneficial without optimal hormone function. This goes for men and women. We do state-of-the-art testing to get to the root of your hormone issues and help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. We can help. 210-468-1891.
Hi, Dr. Damaso Oliva Jr. here, candidate for Rayfail 77. I invite you to join us for the 170 Grander Poker Tournament on Saturday, August 2nd. Proudly sponsored by Thomas J. Henry and benefiting the Rayfail 77 Scholarship Fund. We're putting $170,000 on the table, and it could be yours. The top women's and men's finishers each win $50,000. Register now at TexasHold'emSA.com.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. Joe Reinagel on vacation. I'm Jason Minix. James Pledger producing. Extra innings with Pledge coming up at 6 o'clock. Monday afternoon. Anybody over the weekend watch that Black Sabbath Ozzy Osbourne deal on streaming? If you did, as I've seen a lot of people post about it, and I was Googling to figure out where I can go watch it, but I haven't seen it. If you know who's got it, how do I watch it, let me know. I did a quick Google during the break, and it just said it's streaming. It's streamed live for $30, and then will be available after, 48 hours after. But it didn't tell me where to go find it. So if you've seen it, or if you know where, let me know on Twitter at Jason Minix. If you're watching on YouTube, you can always drop it in there. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. Want to watch that? Looked fantastic. If I were home this weekend, I probably would have watched it, although great weekend in Colorado. Went and saw Blues Traveler, Gin Blossoms, and Spin Doctors at Red Rocks, which is a bucket list venue for me, and it lived up to all the hype. The show itself was fantastic. That tour will be at Whitewater in September. Highly recommend it if you want to go see a show. It's on a Saturday night. Problem that I have is it's the same day that UTSA plays Texas State, although that's a 2:30 kickoff in the Alamo Dome, so you probably could do both. You'd probably, if you stayed for the whole game, miss the Spin Doctors by the time you got out to Whitewater. But I'll tell you, Gin Blossoms was probably the best part of that whole show. They were fantastic. I knew going in, Hey Jealousy. I didn't realize I knew as many Gin Blossom songs as I knew. I knew Hey Jealousy, but it was a fantastic night. That is for sure. And then you wake up to the news today. There's so much going on in the music world. Matt Cameron announced he's leaving Pearl Jam. He's been the drummer for Pearl Jam for 27 years. Doesn't say if he's retiring, but he's leaving the band. Immediately on social media, everybody thinks, well, is he going to join the Foo Fighters? Because the Foo Fighters, well, I mean, they've got a bunch of concerts coming up, but they've yet to announce a new drummer after they fired Josh Freese. Pearl Jam only has one show on their calendar coming up, and it actually just says Eddie Vedder. It's at a festival, and I've been to a festival where Eddie Vedder's done a solo deal, not Pearl Jam. So, I don't know, did Matt look at the schedule and say, dude, we have no gigs coming up. I got rent. I'll join the Foos. Eddie says, no, you can't do that. You're with the, I don't know. It's weird. It's gonna be interesting. Then you see the guitarist for Fall Out Boy. He's taking the rest of the year off because he has to have hand surgery. They'll just find another guitar player and go. Lots going on in the music world. Oh, look, I just got sent a link. Cool. Thank you, Pledge. Now, where do I find that on my magic box?
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Although I may need to look into the magic box.
Everybody needs the magic box. This is one of the greatest investments I've ever made. So it's not on a channel. It's not like Paramount or Peacock or somebody picked it up?
No, as far as I know, it's via
onair.events/black. Either way. Look fantastic, though. The people that I saw that were posting about it and some of the clips that I've seen, looks like a hell of a show. And what's kind of weird for Ozzy, and I saw it described this way, it was like, dude got to watch his own funeral. You see some of these tribute concerts that they have, and I've been to two. I went to the Chris Cornell tribute show, and I went to the Taylor Hawkins tribute concert, both at the Forum in Los Angeles. And everybody said, man, they'd love this. Well, Ozzy got to experience that. He did. I think that's pretty cool.
Still, the way you describe it, there's a couple of things you've done today that you've described that are, A, perfect, but also weird.
Okay.
Jones Garcia or whatever, the Chupacabra. Absolutely love that nickname.
David Jones Garcia, I don't know who this guy is.
Love that nickname.
I've never seen him play, but he's leading the summer Spurs in scoring.
And the Ozzy concert, as in attending your own funeral. Sounds awesome, also sounds super weird.
Well, it is. But again, it's a tribute. It's Black Sabbath back together. They're playing a concert. I mean, did you see the videos of Ozzy?
I did.
I'm not even sure he's here. I mean, honestly.
I mean, to be fair, I've seen Ozzy for a long time. I've often questioned how much he's been here.
You know, it's so insane because I saw Black Sabbath at the AT&T Center that I believe was their last U.S. show on that tour. And the fact that Ozzy's still sort of doing it, now granted, he was sitting in his throne, not on the throne, but they had a throne on stage because he can't waddle around the stage. The fact that the guy can sing but he can't talk is kind of amazing.
It's weird.
The fact that he called into the morning huddle this morning in one of the weirder interviews that I've ever heard.
I missed that.
You didn't miss a damn thing. You didn't miss a thing. It was a nice try by A.J. Hoffman, but it was bad. That was a great idea they probably had at 5 a.m. I'm sure you can go find it.
It just sounded like.
You know, the problem is.
Or was it not that good?
No, AJ was talking too clearly to be. I mean, they set it up with Rob starting the segment, going, I don't know where AJ is. And, you know, and AJ talking about how whatever he ate was running right through him, so he was in the bathroom. But I mean, it was. I mean, like I said, it was a worthy attempt. No, it was bad. I ain't gonna lie. It was bad.
Should have just hit their cat drop a bunch of times.
You know, I learned something about that damn cat.
Uh-oh.
Because Rob Thompson was with me in Denver over the weekend.
Oh, yeah. He's the one that brought the stuffed animal, I think.
He bought it. He bought it for AJ as a joke. In fact, this grown-ass man walks around with a stuffed cat. An ugly one at that. It was a joke.
To be fair, if you ever saw that cat outside the back door, it was an ugly cat.
Fair, but who wants a stuffed cat? But AJ is taken to this cat.
Loves that cat?
That or he's taken a bit too far. I mean, he's beat the dead horse to death multiple times with this dumbass cat. I don't understand the whole cat thing.
Take that dead horse to the glue factory.
But that stuffed cat was actually purchased by Rob Thompson.
Yeah, I knew that.
I did not know that. Because I don't give a damn about that cat. The stuffed one or the dead one. I don't know. I mean, to me, I think we need to truly honor the dead cat that got eaten by the coyote is to put the stuffed cat out by the water bowl that's still there. That's what needs to happen with that cat.
That is a brilliant idea, actually.
Then some coyote would eat it.
Life imitating art.
I mean, it's, I don't know.
Or art imitating life, something.
There's a saying in there that works. You mentioned David Jones Garcia.
The Chupacabra.
Well, that's what I call him.
I love it.
I have no idea who this guy is, and I've never seen him.
Still never seen him.
I know he's led the Spurs in Summer League scoring for 2 games. He had 25 points last night. Now, first Summer League game, I didn't see a second of it because I was in Colorado. And I read an article about the game. Dude's the leading scorer. There was not one mention of him in the article. Because, you know, Bryant made his debut. I get that. Last night, some dude named David Jones Garcia led the Spurs with 25 points. Now, by the time I landed yesterday, got home and put the game on, he was done for the night. And I've never seen him. I couldn't pick him out of a lineup of 1. Yet, he's becoming a Summer League legend. Can't wait for tomorrow night's game against the Lakers. Late start. Hopefully he plays in the first half because I don't know if I'll see the second half. But in reality, who is this guy? And there's no mention of him. You know, the post-game audio from Summer League coach Mike Noyes, unless you just didn't provide it, there's no mention of this guy named David Jones Garcia. None. Who is he? And does he actually have a future with the Spurs? Now, good thing we can all Google, because that's what we have to do to figure out who this David Jones Garcia is. He's 6'4", small forward from the DR, played at a variety of colleges. He's somehow a second-year pro. I have no idea. None whatsoever. But how do you have a guy that has scored as many points as he has over 2 games? I think he's close to, 50 points in the 2 games?
Mm-hmm.
right? And there's no mention of him in any of the articles. He's like playing in the summer league while in the witness protection program. Like, dude, he can play, but you can't talk about him.
And also, he kind of fills the need at small forward. I mean, how many forwards are on this team?
Not enough. We got a lot of guards, though.
A lot of guards.
But I look at this guy, and I do wonder. Now, granted, he's in the summer league, so he's good enough to be at this point. Could there be? Is he a late bloomer? Is he just? I don't. Is there a future for this guy with the San Antonio Spurs? And if not with the Spurs, in the NBA, because you're scoring a ton of points, good field goal percentage. I mean, everything in the box score, but I can't read anything about him because nobody's writing about him like he's the chupacabra. No idea. None whatsoever.
You've heard of him, just never seen him.
I didn't hear about him until yesterday. I had no idea he was on planet Earth, let alone on the Spurs Summer League roster. I mean, you get the Summer League rosters. They're full of names on there that you never have to figure out.
Never.
I mean, they're destined for Costco.
Hell, he played for DePaul, St. John's, and Memphis. Don't know about him in any of those spots.
None whatsoever. Oh, sorry, Pledge. We still have that to give away? I completely forgot. Thanks for reminding me. I know it's been up there this whole show. What are we giving away? A $50 gift card to the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill. If I knew David Jones Garcia's number, I would do that. I don't. So let's go caller 5. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Caller 5, you win a $50 gift card to the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill. Tomorrow, Phil Steele's going to be on with us. We'll talk some good college football. Pledge coming up next. Morning Huddle, maybe with or without Ozzy, from 6 to 10 tomorrow here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
10-yard line, touchdown Vegas, what a wild finish!
Your home for the NFL.
Circa Million and Circa Survivor are back with a massive $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Circa Million, pick 5 games against the spread each week. 126 ways to win with $6 million guaranteed. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no point spread. Last the longest to win it all. $15 million guaranteed. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. $21 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
Dick Steele Days are happening now. You won't want to miss our biggest sale of the summer. Scorecard members earn a $20 bonus reward on your purchase of $150 or more. Plus, 3 days of amazing savings start Tuesday. Check out offers from brands like Nike, Adidas, Hoka, and Stanley. And check back daily for new one-day deals Tuesday through Thursday. Score the season's hottest savings before they're gone on July 10th. Shop in the app and on Dix.com. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
George gets justice. After being hit by an 18-wheeler, the experienced attorneys of George Salinas Injury Lawyers are San Antonio's choice for getting you the maximum compensation you deserve. With over 110 years of combined experience, they've recovered millions for their clients. 18-wheelers may be bigger than you on the road, but you can be bigger than them in